separate art from artist.
But also understand the in-between, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I fucking, like with Watchmen, I think Alan Moore is a retarded piece of shit, but I still think Rorschach is a fucking amazing character.
I've never watched Watchmen. I've
Oh, I
never
love it.
watched
What,
Watchmen.
like, Rorschach is clearly the good guy in that movie. I don't give a shit when anybody tells me.
Husband, it's. Do you hear the Husband, it's.
You're they disconnected or something. I don't hear them now.
There, right?
That fixed it, right? No more echo. Okay, so Watchmen is a comic, right? Or was a comic until it was also made a movie?
Yeah, the movie's better though. The movie improved the comic in every way.
What was good about Alan Moore? Is he the
Yeah,
creator?
yeah, he's a communist like retard that worships snakes.
Huh. And his character is something that you favor?
His character Rorschach is like this objectivist, like capitalist guy who's like a sexist. He hates gay people. He's fucking base as shit.
But he also worships snakes.
No, not the character. No, Rorschach is supposed to be like Alan Moore's idea of like a bad person, and like he even made him like, oh, he made him homeless and he made him stink, so you're supposed to not like him. But I don't give a shit.
Oh, the person worships snakes?
Yeah,
Alan.
Huh.
Oh, I guess I'll disconnect from you now since I'm on here.
Yeah.
You're right. Hell yeah.
I didn't come up with a funny name. I just put Red Eye.
Damn you, bastard.
Red Eye. Red Eye is... I forgot. I was going to remember your YouTube name, so I'd make sure that I knew who you were.
It's Fugitive Red Eye. So
Fugitive Red Eye. Okay.
Yeah. So the way that I actually first encountered you was a comment on my video when I did that video about debates being pointless.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring up earlier when briefly the beef that we have with Captain Hardluck got brought up. You actually have interacted with him, or at least one of you did. I don't know who typically controls the account more, but you in comments because he came to argue and you were pointing out like how his arguments were bad.
Fuck that guy.
That sounds like my wife.
That was months ago, mind you. But
did he say anything back? I tend to. There's so many things.
No, he didn't. But like, he basically said something to the effect of, whooping ass intellectually is what the fuck? Hold on, I can just pull up the actual comment. Hold on.
I got receipts.
Let's see. I will say this: I absolutely underestimated you guys back then because of the comments.
Cool. So, will you overestimate me, or you just estimate me now?
I guess time will tell.
Cool. I underestimated everyone, I guess, because the way that I measure things takes a very specific kind of response, you know, like, hey, let's just talk about this instead of like bringing, I don't know, the feelings into it, like you're a gay retard or something, trying to get to like, and usually the people I interact with, it's like, oh, you must not know anything, bro, and it's hard to try to meet them instead of, hey, I guess you're just the enemy, I don't know what else to do.
Human milk's vegan.
Here we go. I'll just go to the video itself. Here we go. So the comment Hardluck left was, the point is the kicking somebody's ass intellectually helped me flesh out my own His grammar is awful. With how much of a fucking faggot he is about like semantics and grammar, like because he corrected my friend because he mispronounced drudgery and would not let that go. But this grammar is terrible. Also, I've planted plenty of seeds of truth that have grown into trees of wisdom within people. And then you replied to him, there's no wisdom in trying to kick someone's ass or intellectualism. Truth doesn't find root in either of those.
That's true still, ain't it?
I guess I have a question, because in some of the comments, you brought up source of knowing and the source of truth. Is there like a single source, or is there multiple sources? Like, what in your opinion is the source, if it's simple enough to understand?
It's the self measuring itself by the world around it. It's
Okay.
the conclusion of all of that and trying to find the patterns in it instead of saying it's this and also this and it depends on my mood and my gender today or whatever. It's all like
You know
one
what? Fair.
cool.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
easy peasy.
Like Corbin was saying, and Corbin is my friend here. As he was saying before, I think it's a lot easier when we're talking, because I think some of it also doesn't translate in text as well.
Oh yeah. We live fucking in the aftershock of Babylon, I guess, to get religious.
I don't really know what all to talk about on here, but Corbin really wanted me to talk to you guys, and I was listening in on your stream earlier. I was just at work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that you said something. You were like, I finally liked something you did.
Yeah, like easily like the most interesting stream of yours. In fairness, it's the stream I've listened to the most of yours, because your streams tend to be fairly long, so at best I've tuned in and out.
Oh yeah. That's neat though that you didn't like something I said, but you still listen to the other.
Oh yeah,
things
that's
that I said.
the kind of guy I am. I like to talk to all sorts of people and try to kind of see what people's understanding of things is, because when it comes right down to it, I obviously don't have all the answers, and I think that it is interesting to look at other perspectives, because you can fill in gaps in your own knowledge by talking to people, even if you disagree with them or you have a different way of approaching things. I think there can be value in it, which is funny, because the whole time I even met you was, well, met in the loosest of senses in the comments, was because of the my video on how debates are pointless, and then ironically I'm talking about how it's important to talk to people. So I guess maybe that's a little contradictory in the way I'm saying that, but
And that's why I commented.
well,
But now we're here having a discussion, so it's the best of outcomes.
Yeah. But like I would say that like I do think a lot of debates end up being pointless because people don't actually want to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like people just want to score points.
Yeah. I don't think they're looking for any deeper meaning, but I need to prove to you that I'm right.
Well, yeah,
That guy
having
was
a
saying,
conversation,
he's there to kick ass.
I would
He's there
say,
to conquer, to be right.
Yeah.
like having a conversation with you is a lot less pointless because you actually are coming from like a place of trying to understand. So
Hopefully people have more conversations like this, because the world is like flooded with fucking bullshit and it's getting bad, and then like I'm scared. So I've been talking to the universe, trying to get something to stick, even if I have to, step on toes, just trying to be fucking as honest as I can with potentially like stupid evil people that want to kill my dog.
That guy who showed
Right.
up the other day.
Oh, yeah, he was a little crazy, but he wasn't trying to debate nobody. He was just
No.
talking to himself in the woods and then said, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm just yelling at myself right now. Holy shit, the mental...
And then even though I was originally watching a lot of your content for kind of shitposty reasons, I will say one thing that I was genuinely like I did really enjoy is your guys' editing is really good. Like some of the jokes that you put in it are really funny.
Oh, you like those? I've never heard
Yeah.
anybody say that they like them. I usually
Yeah, no,
just...
like one of my favorite ones is that one video you did where like you just abruptly end it with "fuck you, I'll hit you on purpose."
Nice. I'm glad something's getting out there. So do you want to fix problems of the world, or what's your ultimate goal of talking
I
and
don't know if
thinking?
I really have an end game per se. Like, I obviously would love to be able to fix problems, but I am also a fairly cynical person.
I mostly just care about myself. Like I want a good life for myself more than anything, and like if I have kids, I want good life for my kids. I don't really give a fuck about like I have empathy for other people, but ultimately like I don't give a fuck about the rest of the world.
I
guess
agree.
the thing I advocate for, like if we're looking at concepts such as greater goods and things like that, something that I do advocate for as far as that respect would be stronger senses of community, because that no longer just exists like at all.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's really broad, but
people don't have a sense of communication with like people that are very close to them. We all are just kind of talking out into the ether. But in fairness, community has never really been that good because it's always been just kind of like a brainwash power thing.
What's the first community you're exposed to?
Your parents.
Your family.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything's been so fucked up now.
Yeah.
The idea, the sense of family is.
It's got to be like redefined, and we have to say, I'm choosing to do this because, you know, if I want it, I gotta represent it.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like, and like people don't have shared values, or if they do, it's just what they're told to believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of those aren't actually values. It's just, you know, what self gratification. Like not even like anything good or meaningful. It's just like instant gratification.
Mm-hmm. And it all comes from. It has to be a selfish place because everybody wants protection. Everybody wants to survive. Everybody, but yet they villainize being selfish, having a sense of self for me instead of a sense of self for God and for country. It's like we're in a transition from that bullshit to new bullshit.
Right, and that's a problem I run into with a lot of people, because there will be people I agree with a lot of points on, but then suddenly they'll start making it about like, oh, like I have like this group of people that I care about, like my people, and I'm like, well, what is your people? You know what I mean? Like, like when it's and like when it's based on something arbitrary, I find that, you know, a lot less compelling for me. Like for me, like I guess someone who's like more like cynical would say something to the effect of like family being arbitrary, but I don't think that's true. I think family is the furthest thing from arbitrary.
So then what's a cynic? Because those cynic philosophers, where I guess the word came from, people describing people, or is that stoicism? The one who sees his kid die and he's like, well, that's life, I guess.
Well, yeah, I would say that's actually more nihilism than cynicism. Like there's some overlap, but like,
so
I guess it could be attributed to both. Like, well, I guess the way that I understand cynicism, and you know, I'm certainly no expert on it. The way that I understand cynicism is that you realize that there's a lot of bad things in the world, and that a lot of things you're powerless against.
I mean, to me, like I understand, like what you said. I think you mean stoicism, as in like if your kid dies, you kind of just have to accept and move on. Which I mean, like is true. Like with like I think stoicism is like a good thing in the way that like you got to accept things that are out of your control. When bad shit happens and there's nothing you can do about it, you kind of just have to keep going forward.
Is there a point that it prevents doing the good things, like being cynical, that maybe things are out of your control, so you don't end up thinking about how maybe it could be in your control?
For sure. Like I think that that can go too far, because I think just accepting that there are things out of your power, it like is one thing, but I think that a lot of people take that too far and think that they have no power in anything, and so nobody acts, and because nobody acts, nothing happens.
Yeah, but like that's why I try to like obviously focus on what you can control, but that's what a stoicism is just focus on what you can control.
What can we control?
Lots
I
of
mean,
things.
I would say at the very core, we can control our own actions. I mean, that's like the obvious one, but at the end of the day, like I don't think a lot of people like actually stand up for themselves too, which is also like part of the problem. People just like let, like, you know, they let society and companies and the government and whatever walk all over them because they don't have any backing to what they're actually trying to say. They just say things, and then, you know,
no
they just kind of accept
self-worth, no selfishness that they need to define why things are good and why things are bad. I think with selfishness, we can find ultimate good and ultimate bad, because we'll find if I don't want to die, I gotta make it so that nobody else wants to die or wants to kill anybody.
Yeah, let's get rid of the reasons why people are shooting each other. I tend to live a little longer, I won't get shot that way.
It seems like obvious, like pretty fucking easy. Like you can watch the people now doing it on purpose, causing that inciting of fucking, by not having any sense of self. You gotta pay taxes, you gotta get vaccinated, you gotta get an abortion, you can't get an abortion, you gotta fucking do this, you don't have any land. Fucking nobody has any sense of self beyond the only thing that they can control, themselves and reason. But what happens when the anger gets too much, and how does anger and hurt affect everybody's interactions with each other?
Right. Yeah, and I like obviously like I do to a degree advocate for like, being less emotional, but at the same time also not having any awareness of those emotions does lead us down a lot of problems because people bottle it up and then explode.
Maybe that's a
Is
big part breaking things down between men and women, because I feel like if I didn't have how emotional I am, I wouldn't be able to know how to regulate myself in the world versus the men that exist around me. Not that I want them to tell me to shut up, but you got to fix it first, and I know exactly what needs to be fixed so that I don't feel so overwhelmed. And also, expressing it versus understanding it are two different things.
is being emotional feeling
When I take pisses
emotions?
at Walmart, I understand myself the most.
Yeah, I do. Hard. It's none of your damn business.
No, it is an interesting dynamic though that we literally started just like trolling the chat on the stream, and then this is where we are now.
I would say so. I think it's very descriptive of how the I want to. Oh shit! Are you okay?
Yeah, just hit my knee on the bottom of my
Oh.
desk.
I
I
just
do that a
imagine
lot.
someone just face planted
Yeah,
there,
I
out
was
cold,
like,
maybe dead.
dude
I don't
just fell
know.
off the curb.
No, I have this desk that's right in front of me, and it's kind of low, so when I'm sitting in my chair at a particular angle, it's really easy to hit my knee on it if I'm not paying attention.
Perception. We wouldn't know that if we were if we were just listening to someone get, hit and then they never talk again.
Right?
Our minds will
After all, I could
continually
be
wander.
dead. Could have been hit by a truck.
Perfect time for the internet to go out.
Yeah, fucking you
Yeah.
start hearing helicopters and shit, sirens.
Dogs barking.
Oh,
I swear to
shit.
God, the other day it sounded like there was a helicopter like above my house for like an hour or two.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if that's
That
some
used to
Google Map
happen,
shit or
maybe not for that long, but where we used to live, helicopters.
Like, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
there was like a police chase going on or something and they were hovering above because of that. I don't really know, but
Maybe the Air Force is after you.
could be a spying. I saw
The Air
some
Force
pretty
does a lot
compelling.
of shady shit.
Yeah, they do.
you see, that's one I'm not as familiar with, like shady, because like I know the CIA, the FBI, like basically all the alphabet ones. I know that there's a lot of like shady stuff with those, but I haven't really heard a lot about the Air Force until you guys mentioned it.
The Air Force has lots of papers sponsoring these guys to write about how to do mind control with people. They're kind of like, I think they're controlled a little bit by the CIA. Maybe there's some sort of, they're like the hooligans. They're the cool guys of all the other military people. The other military people just have to go bomb shit, have to go in SEAL Team 6 style, and or just die on battlefields. They get to fly in the air and do drone stuff. And
Well, yeah, I think it's interesting that the Air Force has like the most extensive training, yet the least like amount of actual like combat.
yeah, they got a lot to do with Department of Defense stuff. I'm pretty sure the Air Force they're very close. The funding and all that stuff, it's fucking terrifying. But what are you gonna do? I guess we're just gonna keep giving them money, right? You look like you want to say it because you know stuff.
Just thinking about things that.
A little taste.
Yeah,
I guess I
Air
shouldn't be
Force is
too
very
surprised that
involved.
like every branch of the military probably has their own shady secrets.
Oh yeah. These are more psychological and more like higher up. Money passing instead of just hiring a guy to kill some dude.
And see, like I don't know which like agencies it is, but I know that there's like government agencies that have this like sound gun that can like make you feel nauseous from like I don't know what distance,
Department
but from
of
like
Defense,
a wide,
right?
like a bit away.
Could be DARPA.
Oh yeah, DARPA too. I can't. All that shit I used to think was a conspiracy, and you know what? We were talking about Joe Rogan being a fucking shill. He had like, oh,
I can see it. Joe Rogan
pushes
kind of plays
everything.
it safe when it comes to that kind of thing. Like he never says anything too crazy. He just goes a little bit. Like he says what's safe for him to say within like it's like controlled opposition type stuff.
Is it because he's stupid? Does he know that he's controlled opposition? Because
That's
I
a
think
good question.
he's got people who he interviews from the FBI and everything. He just be fed information. It's like the monkey take vitamin. The
Could be.
Listen to the
Yeah, that's
guy
a
about
good
the
question.
mushroom
Like it's
mafia.
The mush.
like
Oh,
there is
yeah.
that. There's that old saying, don't attribute to malice what can be contributed to stupidity. But I think that sometimes there is malice too. So
It has to be. I mean, he wants free speech, right? You've got to be evil and stupid to say, okay, free speech, but when you go to my club, you can't fucking heckle anybody. That's the line of free speech. You don't nurture an environment where there doesn't need to be hecklers. If you suck, I want you to know you suck because I don't want you to get famous and make money because you're stupid and you're going to be in a bad position. A powerful position. Amy Schumer, fucking Joe Rogan, fucking who's all the other idiots who have opinions about it. Theo Vaughn. They all have opinions about things and everybody listens to them. Why? They're stupid. And if you ain't
Yeah.
funny, Dave Chappelle with his fucking dress. I ain't never wearing a dress for no white man. Yes, you did. Everybody saw it. Robin Hood Men in Tights. They tried to put me in a dress, but I said no. No, you didn't. I watched it, idiot.
Huh.
But everybody's like, oh, you're such an advocate. Yeah, now you're dressing half fucking tranny with your low hanging fucking long dress shirts and fucking whatever. With his prison thing on his chest, right? Because it says
Name tag.
Chappelle. Item tag 80945 is Schindler's List fucking number. Anyway, I'm digressing. And regressing.
But I don't.
Yeah, no, like I said, I definitely find a lot of what you guys say interesting. Even before I had actually talked to you, and even when I was, like I said, being a bit shitposty, there was always things that I found interesting about what you guys were saying, and I really think you guys have a very unique approach to a lot of things.
Oh yeah? Something that
Yeah.
should be... Do you believe that it should be pursued or something that we should just stop because nobody else will ever listen to us in your...
I mean, I think that, keep speaking your mind and get your message out there for sure. Like, whether or not it accomplishes anything, if you don't try, it never will, right?
Yeah. I don't know how children work these days. All I can do is just be like, hey, you're wrong, and have them chase me somewhere. That sucks.
Well, and the problem is, though, is like sometimes children can just take something at face value, whereas adults, they've had shit ingrained to them their entire lives that it's even harder sometimes.
That's true. But who knows, though, who's a kid, who's not? I don't know how old you are. You might be 21, you might be 40.
Like a lot of the
I'll be 30 later this year. I'm 29 currently.
like a lot of the younger right wing people, like I agree with more than I do like old boomer conservatives and shit.
I don't really know how to categorize people like that, so I don't know.
Well, that's fair because the lines get blurred a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I know the conservative boomers are stupid because they tried to instill an ideal that they didn't uphold themselves. They sold all their land to fucking government for a retirement home. They were fed a lie, and then they try to give it to us.
And they're like, man, I can't believe my children are so stupid. It's like, who fucking was supposed to teach them?
Yeah, they expect that the school system is doing what it's supposed to do.
Why don't you know this?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm a kid and I'm new to this world.
And they're telling it to us. When I went to community college, my math teacher was like, if you don't know this by now, I don't know what to do for you. I don't know, bitch. Fucking tell me what to do. I'm sure it would only take a second. Just make it make sense to me. They can't do that. Everybody is so absorbed in their stupid.
See, that's another thing I have a problem with that Captain Hardluck guy that we were talking about that we have beef with, because he's he thinks because he went to college he's like above people.
Oh god.
And it's the worst. Like I went to college for a few semesters as well. I dropped out because I realized it was pointless.
Yeah. It just hurts.
But like he always uses that as an arguing point, like against Corbyn. Like he'll be like, "Oh, you have no merit."
How do we know that he uses it as a weapon? How do we take that weapon away? I think only by antagonizing and stuff or memeing about him, whatever, he's only gonna
Well, Corbin's
get more
very good at
fervent.
that.
With what?
Antagonizing him.
Yeah, I literally annoy the shit out of him every day.
Like he was spamming him just the other day, like just spamming a bunch of nonsense at him.
I would like, if you ever do like a live thing like that, I would like to ask questions while you do it. Do like a
I mean, anything else comes up, I can let you know.
With him. Yeah.
So this is a guy that we actually met in a Discord of a mutual that we get along with online. And this guy, he writes a comic book that's really bad, and we did a review of it, and he really didn't like our review of it.
Oh, can we screen share? Can we look at his stuff? Is that something you'd like to do?
I could, yeah, we could do that. Give me a quick second though. I have to run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
This is the audio only kind of.
Oh, we can't just put a video on it. Okay, whatever.
Oh, does this site not have screen share?
Not this particular thing. I set this one up just for the audio.
Oh,
well,
I see.
I can go to a link and do a screen share with the live thing.
We can go through OBS.
Yeah, I'll we'll talk more in a second. Like I said, I have to run to the restroom.
Sorry, husband. You were saying?
What was I saying?
Yeah. It was something about. What were we talking about? Stupid people? As I'm acting like stupid right now. You were also telling me, what would you, do you go by Zimzer? Do you want to be called Corbin or Rabid Waffle or THC or Dixie?
Call me Corbin. That I usually, most people usually do call me Corbin.
Okay.
But Zimzer. But oh man, I get like see, I'm glad we actually started talking earlier in the day before I get poo brained, because I always get poo brained later in the day.
It's a shame your friend got on so late. Probably maybe at one point schedule it better if you decide you want to do this kind of stuff more often.
It's scheduled. I think we scheduled it. It was good because because I did talk to you earlier. It was a good conversation we had. It just has work.
Yeah, my work schedule is like I work in the afternoon tonight, so.
Thus the red eye thing.
No, actually. So my name actually my friend, well, my brother, who's adopted but not like officially. It's a whole big story, but when we were younger, he created an Xbox Live account that he tried to just call Red Eye because he thought, red eyes were cool in like like anime and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then he like that name was taken, so he had like a copy of the movie The Fugitive sitting next to him, and so he just made it Fugitive Red Eye. And then when I created my YouTube channel, he let me use that name because at the time you needed a unique username.
That was the best you could come up with, somebody else's name? Or was that his name?
Well, it was his. It was his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was effectively like at the time I didn't really consider it my channel. It was our channel, but it increasingly became mine over the years.
What else do you do on your channel? I just float around the internet, so.
I do all sorts of stuff. I'm actually playing a video game on it right now.
Like a live stream thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are people listening to you?
There was one here earlier, but he's not here right now.
But like you talk on it or whatever?
Yeah.
What do you? I've never been able to do that. How do you talk to people on the internet who are just watching you play video games?
Like you mean like in my chat, or do you mean like on a voice thing?
On a voice, like, do you interact with them while you're live?
Oh no, so no, I'm not like playing like, because I'm playing a single player game. I'm playing an RPG. But like normally Corbin and I will be in a Discord call a lot of the time when I'm live, and then we'll just audio capture that.
Oh, okay. So there's not much interaction with people who tippy type to you? Like they're like, hey guys, what are you doing? What are you feeling about?
I mean, I'll read the chat, but like, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of my audience is special.
Like he attracts a lot of autistic people to his channel.
Oh wow, how do you do that?
I don't know.
Your head gets so
But like,
sweaty.
there's this guy Chisu who comes in and has like the most disgusting like fan fiction that he just like posts in the chat, and I like constantly tell him to like knock it off.
Dang. What drives someone to do that? He just comes in to like
Uh-huh.
represent himself in your chat.
Yeah.
I like vor.
I mean, not that far off. It's usually like, it's funny because he claims that he's like a good Catholic, and then he'll like say like the most filthy, disgusting like feces stuff or like inflation. It's really gross.
How do you react to it? Do you try to challenge him, or are you just like, all right, dude, calm the fuck
I
down?
used to read it and like get a laugh out of it. Sometimes I get really angry and go off on him for like an extended tangent, and then he gets really sad. Other times I just ignore him.
So
And
people just
sometimes
kind
if
of
he's being,
exist around you, and if they're
yeah,
there,
and
they're there.
if he's being particularly annoying, I'll time him out.
Mhm.
Like I'm never gonna ban him because I'm not really about banning people.
Yeah.
But like if he's really annoying, I'll time him out.
And he gives you the clicks you need, right? He does scribbles
Well,
and
the weird
likes
thing
and...
is he's not even subscribed to my channel. He just checks it every day to see if I'm live.
What the fuck? I want to know who he is.
He is a specimen.
Hey guy, come if you're listening to Red Eye right now, your lover boy, Boo, fucking come in here and tell us about yourself. I'm interested. What makes you
He hasn't showed up in the chat right now, but I'll let you know if he does. He doesn't really do voice chat though, unfortunately. I think he's really like subconscious or self-conscious about his voice. Because he has a speech impediment.
His girlfriend, Giants from Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, his girlfriend looks like one of the giants from Fraggle Rock.
Oh dang, what has he got, like a page or something? You're watching him watch you?
He's in my Discord. He sends screenshots of him and his girlfriend all the time.
What's
I
up
don't know
with...
why.
Sorry,
Do
what?
that to it.
That's
Like, he
retarded
knows
trying
we're
to talk.
I don't know why he...
Yeah, like it's interesting because like he's literally posted like stuff that like has like her name and stuff on it. I'm like, you probably shouldn't post that, bud.
Dang.
And he's like, oh, it's just in your server. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And like I do gatekeep my server. I'm very selective with who I let in it, which, you know, it's astonishing I let him in it, but that I still wouldn't risk it. Like there's a lot of stuff like I never tell people my last name. I don't tell people my birthday. I'm really paranoid.
Everything can be used against you. Why would somebody need to know all that shit anyway?
You know
Exactly.
that shit's valuable because people try to take it. They want it.
Yeah, people try to steal that shit on you all the time.
What makes Discord the means of communication you use? Why did you choose
It's
that?
just it was just the one that everybody had, and that's just people kept asking me to create one, so I did.
Dang.
Yeah,
There
I
wasn't really
never
much
asked
thought
me.
put into it other than that.
Like, does that benefits? Like, what's the draw?
It's a different world to us. We're not in it. I used to do Discord things a couple of or decade ago or something, but it got so fucking tried to track me, and I don't want to be there like ever.
Well, it's funny because like I'm antisocial as hell, which is why I didn't used to have one. I'll socialize and stuff, obviously, like I am now, but I'm often pretty antisocial. So I didn't originally have any intent to like create one, but people kept asking me to, which I'm glad I did because it's easier for me to use this to talk to Corbin than the way I used to, because Corbin and I used to communicate through Facebook, and then before that we communicated through Google Hangouts. Like we've never actually met face to face, me and Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you meet? Worlds of Warcraft or some other?
No, he was he watched my streams, and he found he watched my content and was a fan of my channel originally, and now he's like my best friend.
A fan.
Talking to people online is a slippery slope.
Why is that?
Because you could end up flying across the country and marrying them.
Yeah.
You know?
We met on the internet. Because the reason I'm not a social person is because people seem useless to socialize with, right? I mean,
agree.
what do they got to say that I can't just say to myself while I'm playing video games in peace and quiet or something?
Right.
Yeah, I do this thing where it's like if I want somebody to be my friend, I force them to be my friend by annoying them.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds familiar. Do you want to be my friend, Corbin?
Sure, yeah.
I want to be your friend. This is great.
Friend, all the people, like literally, I've been I'm on like a mission to make everyone who hates me my friend, whether they like it or not.
Oh shit! Really? That's a
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah. Like I literally told Hard Luck, I was like, I decided you forgive me and we're friends now.
dang. That's an interesting way to go about. How did you come up with that strategy? Is there a story?
I just don't take no for an answer.
I think it also started because we were on a voice call with him in another Discord server that he's also in, and we were taking his side because he was arguing against a feminist, and he thought we were going to gang up on him, which is like, why would you think I would agree with a feminist?
Hmm.
It
Wait,
doesn't like. Go ahead.
I'm confused. Cause he was a feminist, right? He does.
Well, no,
the...
Hard Luck was not. Sorry, yeah. Let me. I was not 100% clear there. Let me continue with that thought, so it's a little bit more clear. Hard Luck was in an argument already on the call when I joined, and the person he was arguing against was a feminist. Hard Luck was not.
Okay.
And he just assumed because me and Corbin showed up, we would immediately be against him, which was not true. We took his side. And because we were taking his side and being cordial, Corbin's like, I've decided he forgives me now. I'm glad we made up.
That's cute. I mean,
and Hard Luck obviously hasn't. Like he's just been ignoring everything Corbin's told him, but Corbin's been spamming the hell out of him on Discord.
Yeah.
You gotta wake people up, right? Is that what it is? It's kind of like these people are just so blah and they're in your life that I might as well just get to know exactly what they are. Is that your plan, Corbin?
I just can't take no for an answer. I want everybody to I'm gonna fucking annoy the shit out of people until they appreciate me. Like fucking Max Munich and fucking everybody else. Like I go on people's Discords. I always make a bunch of alt accounts to get into people's
Yeah, you probably noticed he did that in your YouTube chat.
Oh yeah. I eventually caught on to what was going on, but I'm glad.
Yeah, a couple of those alts were me. Like I was Michael Caboose, My Chon's Daily Life Fanatic, and Fugitive Red Eye.
I definitely remember all those things. So there was two people, right? It's only two people.
Yeah, it was just the two of us. And we're messing with you in that one stream. Yeah.
So my strategy was, I don't kick people. I want people to, if they're coming to me, I'm gonna make them see whatever I'm showing them. I'm not gonna change for them. I'm gonna try to get to know them instead of no banning. But if you're saying something,
actually, come to think of it, Kisu did show up in that stream chat too. The guy I was talking about who posts the weird fan fiction. He did briefly show up in your chat because we shared your stream with my audience in my Discord when we were in the chat.
So he probably said something to be one of the boys.
Was pretty reserved, I think. I don't know. Like you can look back on it. It was the stream from like a couple nights ago. I think it was it wasn't the stream where Corbin joined you, but it was one of the first ones where we were just kind of going in your chat over and over again.
Bath time.
Bath time.
Yeah, the bath one. Yeah, that's the one.
So yeah, I had the strategy to do bath time thing to see what kind of feelings or what kind of people it would elicit. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, like I didn't even know that that's what it was because Corbin just like, hey, follow the leaders live, and I'm like, okay, and we went over there.
Is there other ones that you talked in? I mean, maybe like the Twitch one.
Corbin was in the Twitch chat briefly. I don't really use Twitch all that much. I do have a Twitch account, and we did go in Hardluck's chat when he was responding to our review of his comic. But I typically don't use Twitch.
These are how little communities are made on YouTube. Everybody, like all those like fatty fat channels, all talking about all these people who make bad decisions, like Cobra and fucking whatever.
And Berlin.
Yeah, everybody's just talking shit to everybody, and that's how they're getting to know each other. It seems like that's what
Well, here's the thing, I like because I love to watch like stuff of King Cobra JFS, but like I don't understand the people who think that he's like a bad guy. Because as far as a lot of those lol cows go, he's actually like not like a bad guy. He's just makes stupid decisions.
It's probably people that went too far. I feel like it's been going
like the
on
people who call
so
the cops
long.
on him to go to his house and stuff.
Yeah, that's disgusting. There's no reason to to make someone feel that terrible that they have to stand in front of the cops. But
well, yeah, like it's ridiculous to me that all these people like they call the cops to his house, and then he freaks out at it, saying stop wasting the police's time, and they're like, oh look, he's freaking out. It's like, of course he's gonna fucking freak out.
I thought, I mean, everybody's like that because anybody who's ever come into the chat with us has been the same way, and it's like, okay, now's the time to try to figure out what to do about this shit. And then you guys showed up.
Well, I mean, look, like I said, a lot of what we were doing at the start was just kind of being shit posty and stuff. But here's the thing: even with that, there were still elements I was genuinely curious in what you had to say.
That's pretty cool. So did this happen because I pointed out a contradiction and you didn't want to deal with me anymore?
I know it wasn't anything like that.
I don't understand.
It was just we kept showing up. We just kept showing up in the chat, and then Corbin's like, "Oh, well, do you want to collab and we can talk about it?" And then when you're actually like, "Yeah, let's talk," and then you guys started talking on that first stream that you talked when his connection was really bad and kept cutting out.
The original conversation we had though about the debate thing, how it's used.
Oh,
whatever
that
I said about that.
I think a part of it was I didn't understand what you were saying. I was like, if you remember, like in the comment conversation we had, I was initially more receptive and like genuinely engaging, but then as it went on, I just started saying nonsense.
Is that what happened? I guess I would have to go back and look at it.
Again, I can pull them up if you want. But,
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be interesting if that's something you want to do.
Sure, I can take a look. Hold on.
It would be a good way to witness myself because I always try to be as like non-biased as possible. Not like you're dumb and gay or something, like saying something, inciting something, and then trying to follow something that will elicit something good.
Let's see. So
this might share stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So your initial comment said, if debate isn't to come to truth together, it's pointless. Also, the meaning of behind words have to be agreed on while the debate progresses to fully understand each other and point out contradictions. If contradictions aren't always ironed out, that chaos builds, all parties will have ended up wasting time. How do you debate if everything is fucked when and fucked is in quotes, by the way, when no parameters are drawn to define fucked? Everyone just assumes the picture in their own head and of a word is enough. A cow is a cow, right? So happy is happy. Absolutely not. And you yourself contribute to this pointlessness. And I'd like to challenge your vehemently pro-life comment. I don't think you are. I don't think you have enough understanding about life. I think that was one thing that set me off because abortion for me is kind of a hot button issue.
So do you want to talk about that right now? Because there's a difference between abortion and life that we could maybe visit that I meant.
Well, I don't know that we're going to come to agreement on this. And after Captain Hardluck, debating the concept of abortion just like infuriates me.
That sucks. Can we could take it easy because guess what? I am quote unquote pro-life. I don't think it's a good idea to kill babies. We're on the same page. It's just understanding.
And I think that's actually where
words.
I think that's actually where some of the confusion came in because when you mentioned like autonomy and stuff like that later in the comment, to me it's just like I don't care. That's still murder. Like that's where it comes to me. Like it doesn't give you the right to, you know what I mean? Like that's sort of where my brain goes with it.
Your brain goes to it doesn't matter what you want for your body. There's something that I can decide for you in your body.
Well, no, I'm not saying I can decide it either. For me, like the issue is because one thing that a lot of people who are quote unquote pro-choice, and I don't like the term either. I prefer to use the term pro-abortion because pro-choice is a little bit misleading, I think.
But also pro-abortion is a little misleading, isn't it?
I would say for my purposes, the way I use it, no, but maybe in a way that you see it, maybe, I don't know.
If abortion is the ability to have one without any other context, like not the pushing for it, not the influencing of it, but if something, it's that procedure is there without any of the biases that come with it, does that...
Well, the thing is, like, for me, it's hard to separate that context because it's still ending a life. And, like, like I understand the point more when people at the very least acknowledge its life, but then they say, because like when people make what's the word I'm looking for? A right, like when people make the argument that it's the resources of the woman's body getting used up, and they're not calling the child part of her body itself, because that's one point of distinction that different people have in different groups. There is acknowledging whether or not the child is part of her body, or saying, well, it's in her body and using her resources. I at least can understand the logic behind that one a little bit more, but I still think that it's wrong to go in and violently kill it.
My problem, and I'll give you super context here.
Okay.
My problem is any person telling me what I should do as opposed to what I decide to do. I've been pregnant for a very long time and
Okay.
didn't kill it, don't decide to kill it. Everything is. I never fought with the idea to do it. It was up to me to decide, because nobody's pressuring me to do anything, that I want to live the best life, and the best life is to give my life for a child if I have to.
Well, and
Because
that's good. I think that's great, and I hope that all goes very well for you.
however, the
but-
pro-abortion, anti-abortion thing is about statesmen getting to make decisions where they don't got the brain to do it. Who has like the moral understanding? And should we agree with anybody's opinion? Should I agree with your opinion, or
Up to the person that got the woman pregnant. I think if a woman got pregnant and she wanted to kill my kid, if she killed my kid, I'd fucking beat the shit out of her. I wouldn't fucking care.
Well, yeah, like I'm not going to say what I'd do, but I wouldn't be with someone who would do that in the first place. But like, here's the thing. For me,
I view that child really me.
I'm very anti-statist. Like, I'd say idealistically, I'm basically an anarcho-capitalist when it comes to like that. But
what is that?
Since
I don't listen to any of those words.
That's
made
fair.
by
That's
those
fair. I know, because you were
people.
saying you didn't like isms and stuff like that. I know.
Yeah.
But and I wouldn't call myself fully that either. I'm just saying, like, I am very libertarian. I don't like the state. I would like there to be virtually no government, or as little as possible. However,
would you prefer people to govern themselves than have someone over them governing them?
Yes, absolutely.
And what would govern them?
Women.
They would have to be.
Well, here's the thing. So
how would they govern themselves, I guess?
Let me clarify. So what I typically advocate for, and again, this is like utopian shit I don't think is ever going to happen. This is just like, okay. But what my thought is, right, is like, my utopian ideal would be like different communities that are founded and joined voluntarily, that are all privately owned and run like by people within it. So obviously those communities would have leaders, but no one is subject to a community involuntarily. And I know that that's like a lot to ask for, which is why I say that it probably would never happen. But that's like at its base level.
To make that happen, to take all those shapes, or is there laws that are getting passed?
Well, there would be rules within the communities, decided upon by the community leaders. And I would say that I would be fine with communities.
What would make those communities be viable to begin with? What rules would be written?
Well, I think that there are universal things that, like, whether it's consequentialist or whether it's like objective morality, whichever way you want to look at it, I think there are things that are good or bad for a community. And I think that determining those things when you found these said communities would be key, because, like, obviously, like, killing someone, I think most people would agree is wrong. I mean, there are context, right, self-defense, things like that people argue about.
Well, you guys talked about beating the shit out of a woman for getting an abortion.
Right.
Where does that fall in?
If she killed my kid, like I said, I probably can't say what I would do.
Would
on
you
YouTube.
Also kill the doctor? And
yeah, probably.
The people who had her sign the papers, or the lawmakers that...
Again, this is a hypothetical that I will never get myself involved in. I'm going to be clear on that, because if I ever get a woman pregnant, we're going to be on the same page before I do that.
I guess Okay, I could see that. So a person who would be on the same page and then betray you in that way, you would
That
kill
would be
her?
a very big thing. Like,
Hmm.
obviously, and it's easy to talk big when I'm not in that scenario too.
Yeah,
So obviously,
it's
like
good
they're
to
like
realize
being
that.
actually there in the moment would be different.
I do the time for the crime.
But I do, like I said, like if it was my kid, because having kids is something I would absolutely want in that scenario. And if someone just took that away after it had already been done, especially if we agreed on it beforehand,
Yeah,
I can't say that I would react in a rational or
yeah, that's
reasonable way.
betrayal.
Right,
I mean, what if they lied to you? I'd probably beat the shit out of her if she lied to me.
right. So like for me, like when it comes to like that issue, like I said, like I understand the argument for autonomy and stuff like that, but to me, that doesn't outweigh taking a life, regardless. And like, it's not a matter of who tells it. Like, I'm just saying in principle, because like obviously, like I said, I'm against the concept of the state.
Hmm.
But like, it's not something that I would just stand by and let happen. Like, I mean, I technically do because you don't see me going to like abortion
Yeah.
clinics and doing stuff, obviously. But I'm saying in a perfect world, it would not exist.
So the
And
problem lies with the people, because if the people are still looking to get abortions, the state then enforces the opinion of the majority, right?
right, right, and currently that obviously like most states, that's just oh, it does vary actually a great deal with states, but there are some states where it's literally at any point in the pregnancy for any reason, and to me that's just sick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand even how the doctors could be so desensitized pulling out baby parts and stuff. The underlying problem is that desensitization from all that
Right,
fucking
I think,
hurt.
yeah, because a lot of these issues do come down to cultural issues really at its core, because like the current like zeitgeist that people have, like the fucking what people follow and think, common opinions and whatnot,
It's all
is
weapons.
what shapes. Yeah, it's a weapon, exactly. Like it's used, and like I think that things have obviously like over time gradually been implemented to make things in the long run worse and worse for us as people.
I think that the like going back to the not being able to control yourself and killing someone if they killed your kid.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a reason, because I could understand that, I would fucking kill myself if my husband betrayed me. And, fuck your kids. This is what you did.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weapon reasoning there. I don't want to do it, and I don't want to get pushed to a place where I can't control myself. But
Right.
maybe a lot of the things is women getting revenge on men because they're always posting it on fucking TikTok. Oh, I dropped
Mm-hmm.
my babies off at the pool. Fucking crazy shit like that. Or I've had 13 abortions. You don't see me bitching about it. Or however they
Nothing.
represent themselves with that dumbass shit. Sorry, what?
I was just saying, nothing pisses me off as much as that shit.
Yeah.
It's meant to piss you off,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you
Yeah, because it makes
can't do anything about it unless you shoot up a school before the kids there get pregnant.
That's like trolling life.
Yeah, we're all being fucking trolled by this shit. But the point is that men have weapons and women have weapons. How do we stop making weapons and start making babies? Right? It's the lawmakers aren't gonna fucking do that. Laws don't fucking mean anything. There's a law that
Yeah.
if we eliminate the contradictions in our life, I don't say I love you and then I don't try hard to do something that you enjoy with you or something. I'm always huffing and puffing or something. Many examples. If I forgot why I made that example, by the way, but if we stop if we stop doing the contradictions that we do, that this is okay, babies dying is not okay if you get an abortion, but babies dying in Palestine because of arbitrary 2,000-year fucking wars is okay.
Right, and
There's
obviously I don't think any of it's okay. Like I think that like like obviously there can like there are context things with some things, you know, like I said, self-defense is one thing, but like there
But we
like
can
I
still
don't like
reason contrary to them, right? If I was in that position, because we're both in the present, knowing what I could do to prevent all that war, I'm fucking Hamas. I'm throwing rocks at Israel.
right.
I'm Israel. I get the backing of everyone. I can
Right,
try
and
to
let me
make
be clear.
peace.
Let me be clear. I'm not calling any of that self-defense because I think that whole war is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Um,
Usually war at this point is all just bullshit.
right. Well, yeah, and like I would consider myself anti-war in general. Like I don't like war.
I was just gonna.
Oh, thank you. If there's talking, there doesn't have to be war. And I think that the best way to start that talking dialogue, number one, is to do the shit that we're doing now. For me and you, husband, to do all the talking that we do so that we understand each other instead of trying to change each other
There's
for.
like I think bullshit that like conservatives pretend that there's like no possible peaceful solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict, and that the only fucking thing we can do is just genocide a bunch of people.
It's all brainwashing because nobody's thinking about something alternative. There's plenty of alternatives, and smart people, if we were in power, I'm sure that we would be able to stop it very quickly. You know
Like
what I mean?
well, yeah, there's already like I already have like several, like I think that like with the fucking conflict is like
Trevor Moore, let's solve this problem.
just let them fucking have a state and put a wall around it and tell them to fuck off. Like keep them in their fucking state and fucking keep a wall around it.
Would that be enough? I think at this point, maybe
Oh.
at least they wouldn't be kicked out of their homes and they would have somewhere to be. But can you trust someone to not do the same thing to you again unless you have an olive branch and continue to give olive branches?
I mean, it's a good point. But I think with the Israel Palestine, like they are just like obviously fucking just killing as many people as they can. Like conservatives don't even draw a line. Like they don't even have a line for how many people to kill is too many. How many babies being blown to fucking shit is too many. Like they don't even have an idea for how far is too far.
They're just saying shut up and let everybody die. That's their
Yeah.
stance.
That's everybody.
But that's everybody's fucking stance. I guess except us, right?
And
Well,
like
yeah, I find that most people will justify horrible things that they claim to be against when it's convenient.
The Jews do that shit all the time. They're like, "Oh, well, we're in the Holocaust, so it's okay that babies. Who cares what part of the land they fucking came from? It's not in your blood. It's a stupid and ignorant thing to say that it's in your blood to be a person that isn't human or a person that should be the one that everybody beats up. It doesn't make any sense, right? How could it? Are black people less smart because of, their dumb parents or because of their genes? Are Chinese people fucking more prone to stab people because they like knives or they don't have any guns? Does that make sense? You're looking at, I don't know.
Root cause analysis, wife?
Yeah, root cause fucking analysis. That all humans are the same. So if we all are the same, we all have the same wants and needs. We have all the same kind of angers and shit.
We react
I mean,
the same way.
really though, I don't like. I mean, really though, I don't think it's any of America's business either way. Like, the only reason I'm like passionate about Israel Palestine shit is because I'm fucking reactionary. Because conservatives never shut up about it, and they fucking hate how like bloodthirsty conservatives have been lately.
I'm loud about it because I don't like how babies and kittens die. It has not fuck America, fuck lines. America getting involved in anything. All of that stuff is so confusing and so arbitrary that I think it should all just crumble. Doesn't matter. I'm me right now that feels this way.
Nationalist, like I think I don't give like I think that America literally should only look out for itself, and that we shouldn't be involved with other countries' problems at all. Because like I'm all about selfishness, and I think nationalism represents that selfish view. Like I only care about my people, and when I say my people, I don't mean like a race. I mean my the people that I that choose to be in my country and like share my idea, my values and shit.
How do we keep?
So,
Go ahead.
what do you do when your friend asks for help?
It depends on what, like, if my when my friend asks for help, I fucking, if I help them, if they're but like because that would be selfish in the way that it would be my friend, but I don't consider fucking Israel my friend. Israel can go fuck itself, obviously, and Palestine go fuck itself, really.
But say England is your friend, and
Oh,
England
because
is
we're talking
friend
about like
with
allies and shit.
yeah, and is friend with Israel.
Now,
This I think that exact thing will friend of a friend of a friend. That's how World War One started, and that's what fucked everything up.
Oh
Is that I
yeah.
well I, my friend of a friend is going to war with them, so I have no choice but to go to war with them.
Yeah,
mhm.
how would you prevent that by doing an America kind of thing instead of just like an individual kind of thing, because it's all about selfishness, right? If everybody can be taught to be selfish the right way, then you don't have to give them fucking money. They'll stop fucking letting their government poison their fucking water so that they can grow crops.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I mean. It's like the world would be a better place if people just focused on themselves.
So we should say fuck the America thing. You know, that's just goes okay as like a barrier before.
That's what America is to me. Like selfishness, individualism, liberty, and things like that are what America stands for. Like I don't give a shit what people like twist it into. Like to me, that's America.
I'm trying to understand the lines of lands, right? Because small communities, if we're not small community minded, how do we know what a small community minded like America first kind of thing looks like? How can the chaos that's going on now be brought to a place where it is, say, America, freedom, liberty,
Well,
pursuit of happiness?
well, like with like obviously, like I would be at, like I said, an individualist, and like I would want smaller communities and like what I advocate. But like I think that like the reason I say community is important too is because though I am an individualist, the individual typically flourishes as part of a community, and society wouldn't function without one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Of
here
course.
let me. The way I relate things, I view it as in like the circles of selfishness for me, like where I'm at the center. Me, like I myself am at the center, and then the closest thing to me would be family, and then friends, and then my country. You know, I view everything as in relation to myself, and that's how things are important, is how they relate to me specifically. I only value things in how they benefit me or relate to me.
Uh-huh. Um how does America relate to you versus community? Because there it's the individual having to
Yeah, if I'm a
go
small
out and
community,
adventure into what else is in the scope of myself.
I would care about my community more than I'd care about California. I don't give a shit about California.
So America is the representation of like whatever community you're in control
No,
of.
no, I just think of America as being more important to me than other countries. I'm not saying like America is all that matters or some shit.
Right, and I think that like the reason that it would be is because we are, you know, whether we like it or not at this time, we are subjects to its laws and its government, even though obviously I don't like that.
Okay, so it's
So,
just kind of like painting a picture of the right now.
well, yeah, like, and I think that for instance, not a fan of the state, but since the state exists, I do think it is better that its resources be used for good. And I think that a lot of the time, you know, in a sense, like when it comes to like nationalism versus globalism, you want to clean up your own room before you tell everybody else to do it or try to clean up
Yeah.
somebody else's, right? Like,
You
Yeah,
can't
Jordan
just turn something into a different thing. This is what we got right now, and we have to start slowly turning it into
Right, exactly. Like you're not gonna like immediately change the world at the snap of your fingers immediately.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How do you play a game that oh wait, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a lady and the world that exists right now, the game that has to be played has nowhere for me but like OnlyFans. But even then, I would have to get a credit card. I would have to get a fucking photo of a photo ID. All of this stuff is like it works poorly. For me, I would have to become a dude-minded person to exist
you
here.
have to fit the role of your enemy's victim.
Yeah, I
to play that game.
I think that like the way it's set up where women have to like obviously I don't agree with like OnlyFans, or even like I don't agree with like women having careers and shit. Like I think that women basically are like,
We make home the best.
yeah, I
Yeah.
be taken care of and stay in the home and shit, and that ultimately is what's best, and that and I mean on some levels you can even like even on like in a weird way you could view that almost like a matriarchy, although that's not what I'd call it, but like because the women obviously do have it better in a society like that, even if
It's
they don't
not a
realize.
matriarchy yet, but I think that it could be. In a way. I think it'll be way more equal than it's a either this or an either that. It's a it's a patriarch. Oh no, that's dude, right? It's a fratriarchy. No, it should be. Damn, men took both of them. What's a parent? Parentriarchy, or some shit. That
I
there's a
I don't know if
part.
there is a term for that.
Hmm. An equalness where, and this equality, whatever shit. Equality can only come by me giving a certain part to you, husband, and you giving me a certain part of you. That's kind of like bowing down to me, and it's kind of like bowing down to you. You have to, what did I used to say? It's like giving me like the power almost. I know I can't just take it, but you're offering me it on good
Well,
terms.
that's not how I worded it exactly, but like I do
Me
think that the
neither.
whatever women have is the power that men give them, like, and that like even like in
Well, the
fucking like dumb.
power on the outside, right? There's a power that you allow us to have, and then there's in that space, in that power, we have to find ourselves, and we have to find a better thing that I think will. It's not. Maybe it's probably not happening now. However, there are those people in those like 1800s where she's talking about doing good for her husband, encouraging him, and all this stuff. Um, where men and women together, I think you have the empathy, right? But I can give you the feelings that go in there so that you're even more adamant that truth has to be something that you protect and you don't want your children to be hurt, and having like a smarter, more caring view than the corruption that ends up happening between dudes.
It's you have the view of creation. You have the view of destruction.
Yeah.
We're talking about looking through the same eyes. We have the same eyes. We got the same.
Yeah,
we
but
can
two
look.
different vantage points.
Right. I would say
You're
that
looking
like
to make
both
friends,
men
and
and
I'm looking to
women
fight
like
people. So
like the world like it
Yeah.
like the only way things can work is if men and women have like roles that they both play. And the problem is that modern society has rejected a lot of those roles or even the concepts of them.
Yes, and I think it's because when men have the control, they just say, it is whatever I say. There are way more dude dictators, than I was watching that shit about Albania where he just made marble statues of him everywhere. There's morals and values that get lost, I think, when men fight each other. There's a lot of what the women want that they end up sacrificing for. I don't want you to kill my kids. I don't want you to enslave them.
stop sending my kids to war. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sending everybody to war.
Yeah, it's kind of like an injury that we have to heal as opposed to just like, we stop doing this? How do we get people to stop fucking just not do war instantly, right? Maybe.
Mother, do you still drop the bomb?
He got fucking, man, what a tough life that guy had. Well, I guess everybody who was given pills and told that they were crazy. That's that's that CIA MK Ultra shit. Well, how for some reason it just so happens that those papers, right, are describing abuse as a means to control while people are abusing the same or doing the same exact thing and calling it love. That seems a little weird, right? Or just like what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to suffer all these years learning school from fucking retards. You're supposed to sign up for war. You're supposed to eat shit that kills you.
Well, I think that also comes down to like the apathy and acceptance that people just have for things. You know, they're like, it is what it is, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
They get, what is it, neurotic? Oh, my escapism. They're imagining these fantasy worlds, huh?
There's always isms. Isms is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing people don't realize, right? Like escapism is part of the plan to control people. Like it's just like, oh, here's a distraction. Now ignore all this horrible shit we're doing to you.
Prisoners that didn't have to do crimes is more money efficient. It's idiocracy, but nobody's fucking laughing because they're too stupid. Terry Crews is, ooh, a guy touched my penis and I cried about it instead of fucking killed him. Please. What kind of fucking world is this? It's a thing, we're getting to a point, right? Lots of bad things have happened, and it can only get destroyed. What do you think? Is it gonna just all be destroyed and we're just wasting our time? Or is there a vacuum that nature created? Because where do we get our opinions from that babies shouldn't be killed? Nature, right? It's something deep inside you that says you don't take what's mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that like unfortunately there is always the possibility that things end badly and in destruction, but I also think that things can get better. But before they get better, I do think that it is just inevitable that part of getting better, things are going to get a whole hell of a lot worse first.
Well, like, I think life is literally a cycle where things start off bad and then slowly progress to a point where things get better and better until eventually the cycle reaches its end and things get worse and shit. Like, it happens every civilization, like Greece, Rome, and America. It happened even faster because with capitalism, like we progressed even faster than before, so the cycle ends even sooner.
So each civilization is like an experiment, right? And then each one ends in failure so far?
Well, I don't think that they really had success, these civilizations. Nature just lets things survive, right? Bears didn't make themselves go extinct by fucking killing each other off. It was us who, kills things to extinction. This is what I really like about the Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle saga, being able to see a past that was so well documented in certain perspectives and then seeing it in their perspectives and understanding that these people kind of survived on a whim and a prayer. They were always fighting. They were always getting tricked. They were always tricking each other. They were always scared of fucking death and fear. Everybody's lamenting. Everybody's trying to find a reason to do things. And when it came to like the Socrates Plato time, it was like people were really trying. This is why they're not good influencers, Socrates and Plato, because they didn't have the words to say what you should and shouldn't do. They're just documenting what they're experiencing. So we're watching through Plato's eyes, and we hear throughout the museums and shit that worlds fucking crumbled. And then we get the experience of Plato being the relatives of the people who took over Athens and made it crazy like things are crazy now. And you hear how he's trying to argue all the bullshit that people have unfortunately learned throughout the ages.
And part of it, he's arguing with his family.
Yeah. So it's like things were never as good as they could be right now. And there's always like a thing to learn from these cycles that keep happening, because they did flourish. Obviously, they won wars. They probably profited because they joined with the Spartans or joined Macedonia, or even after fucking Macedonia conquered them, because it wasn't fucking Alexander, apparently.
Well, I think by learning from these cycles, if anything, we've actually just sped the cycle up because we make all the progress that they've made even faster, and then which leads to the destruction happening even faster.
Yeah. Do you think the cycle... Could we just be fucking Frank Mir as hell? Could we stop that cycle? Could wisdom and smarts stop that cycle?
I think that literally the only way to slow the cycle down is by like sort of is through like actual conservatism. Like I don't think that I don't believe in like progressive ideologies or any of that shit.
If politics has been the problem since Plato, at least.
Oh yeah.
Is more politics.
Well, it's like we're
solution.
using the words. I don't know what those mean because everybody has a different definition of it.
I mean it in a political way. I just mean like it's smart to conserve the good things you have rather than just fuck everything up. It's like what's the opposite of conservatism? Like speeding up the process.
Oh, so you're saying like saving seeds in winter for next spring versus let's just fucking party and fuck all the little boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would say that like cause conservatives, part of the problem with them is they don't actually conserve anything.
Yeah. With the Mormons, they pretend that they are conservatives, right? But they say the world is theirs to fucking blow up because they're just gonna go to another planet.
Yeah, they get to go to a whole new planet all for themselves. So fuck this one.
What do we do about that kind of stupid? How do we change what conservative means to other people?
Well, like part of the problem I have isn't even necessarily that. It's that a lot of conservatives, right? Like what they want to do is like there's a saying that I don't know who actually coined it, but Michael Malice says it all the time that Republicans are just Democrats driving the speed limit.
Republicans are Democrats driving the speed limit, like they're following their own laws as opposed to.
Let me explain. What I mean by that is they have the same end game. It's just Republicans want to do it slower. It's like they see all these things and it's not like stop. It's like, well, slow down. Don't go that far right now. But then the goalpost shifts a few years down the line and they end up in the same spot.
And they're all
that the Democrats were in 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's the end
game? I
would
say overall destruction. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it goes towards things like, indulgence and gratification, and just like it's like the family like itself like has been like degraded over time, and like community itself has to like people don't give a shit about their neighbor.
This was a problem in Plato's time apparently as well, according to the Republic, how. When he was talking to the other guys, the father, he said that there are rules to going to heaven when it comes to money. That you at least leave your children as much as you got. If not more, but if you don't, it's okay. What kind of, like, morals are that? Is that conservative-isms?
So, you said like giving your children more or around what you had, right?
Yeah, leaving your children.
By my definition, yes, because you're preserving your own legacy, your family line, by providing for them. I do think there is a point where toughness is also needed at times. I think that there needs to be a balance to a degree as well.
He used indulgence because he had more than his parents left him.
like the problem of the boomer generation is that they are like, oh yeah, fuck the next generations, everything's about me.
And they all
You
died
know,
of cancer.
like they're all a bunch like boomers are, and then when their kids like turn out to be idiots with and that have no money, they're like, oh, what a bunch of like they blame them when it was their ideology that led to this.
Thrusted into a world that they created and that we have to just remember.
Yeah.
Or
Right,
we have to just learn as we go. Sorry.
Polar market.
Polar market.
It also, like, there's another, again, I don't know who coined this term, but there's another expression, right, that good times good times create soft men create hard times create strong men create good times create soft men, and the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make it so that strong men can maintain good instead of allowing it to become soft?
I don't.
That's a good
Are
question.
the good men really making good times
If it ends up like
if
that.
it ends up bad?
I don't think that
I would say no, only temporarily. If you, in the long run, no. If it's short lived, but like that's the cycle, right? Like you grow up in an easy time where you don't have as much hardship, and not having that hardship makes you not appreciate life for what it is. It makes you decadent, and it makes it really easy to take everything for granted and not make yourself skilled at anything. Like everybody's dependent on the technology we have now. If the internet goes down, there's so many people that would have no idea what to do.
So it seems like challenging yourself in good times may be something that gets rid of
Right.
the weak man problem. So that there's plenty of opportunities to do that. Chop your own tree, fucking
Right.
dig your own dirt, build your own house, doing all the things that are making
Well, it
us
is-
sick, growing your own food.
and that comes down to individual choice though, and I don't think you can I don't think that it's realistically possible that most people are going to make that choice. I don't think there's really anything that can be
Yeah, like
realistic.
I obviously think that would be a good thing, and I agree that that is something that would mitigate that problem. But the issue you run into is that's really hard to achieve at a societal level.
Are
People don't
people
feel
who
the
choose to
point.
follow this path of self-reliance, are they responsible for keeping other
Could
people?
you make people want to be more self-reliant? People are influenced to have sex with dogs. People are influenced to chop their dicks off. I think people could be influenced to be smart, and you wouldn't have to influence them to do the smaller, communal, working hard, challenging yourself thing, because that may be what they want to do. I would
But the
imagine.
reason those things in it get like the reason that they get influenced into doing those bad things in the first place is because it already became. I mean, I think the reason people are willing to accept this sort of self-destructive is because they don't have the incentive to do otherwise. Like, I don't think that, I don't know, like, I don't see realistically creating the culture that would keep that going.
Do you
I
have
think
the thing to do otherwise? I'm sorry, I forgot the word you used. Do you have the wherewithal or the desire to do something different than them?
I mean, like, yeah, like, like, to me, like, what I want to do, because, see, the reason that society always gets rebuilt is because there's the people like me uh, that will actually leave their society. Like, because what I want to do basically is like my dream or whatever is to like leave society and to start like my own thing, like a farm and have a family and then raise those children to be future generations, which I would only be able to. And like, and I also would like want to have as many children as I possibly can. And like, I actually plan on having multiple wives and everything, but I want to separate myself from society, and I think that's why civilizations get rebuilt. Like Rome didn't really completely die because people did that, because there were people that were willing to separate themselves from that and migrate away, I guess, and start families up again and abandon those places. and
So
then they get.
are those multiple wives for like intermarrying those kids, or do you plan would their plan have to
Well, no,
include
I want them to be with
neighbors?
other that would do the same thing. Like the best hope you could have is that other people would form their other small communities and shit. But
Pretty close to you?
yeah, like
Would
if
you
I could, I'd
trust them to not war with you?
of a community. Like I'd buy a bunch of land and like have a bunch of and because you can buy land and then have and let other people have and share that land with other people and then like I literally like it is like a dream that's probably never going to come true, but I would like to have a cult.
Me too. I feel like everybody should be in the same cult. I feel like everybody should be.
Well, everybody's in one cult right now.
Yeah. I feel like should we talk about the different cults that we want, and maybe I could convince you to join mine, or you can convince me to join yours?
I could join yours, but
What was that?
and I'm saying that in the based on the stuff you say about like women, I don't think you'd want to join mine either.
What about my cult don't you like?
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't believe in. I don't believe in like a sort of equality between men and women in any kind of like society. Like to me, like it. I only like I would only want.
It
I mean,
seems
like
like
I.
you're thinking about the relationship between men and women as a societal thing versus a family thing. There's like a state thing versus like a one and one person thing.
I'm trying to think bigger than just what's best for. Well, yeah, it's not even just about like my children. Like I don't think that by giving my woman, like by having a wife that has like the same amount of control
I
as
tell you
me,
what, I'm gonna run to the restroom again. I will be back.
Okay.
like I don't think that a woman having the same rights as me would be the best for my children. It's not even just
Rights
about.
in like the state kind of terms.
Well, no, and like I believe that the husbands should have control over the women. Like I still think the men. No, I don't think the government should have control of the women, but the men who that husbands should have control over their wives.
With that being said, what would prevent men from doing the same shit they've been doing for thousands of years, just warring with each other? Because this sounds like almost like the biblical stuff. You know, like we both have big families. Let's spread out, and now there's a bunch of people, and they're warring with each other for
Well, I mean,
land
like
and.
I I wouldn't. I would want to promote a culture that would be anti-war. Hopefully, like I would. I'm always on the side of peace between men. I'm only applying this to control over women because that's the only way I see a family or society is with the men having control over the women. I don't see
So you would go to war with the women then?
no, because that why would you go to war with the women? I think that the women would be pretty easy to gain control over anyway.
You can control their minds.
Yeah.
So
Is
in this, but you also, if we're trying to make this like as realistic as possible, but you also said it's a pipe dream, right?
Well, I don't think the controlling women part is very impossible. That's pretty easy.
So you think that I could be controlled?
Sure, yeah, I think any woman could really be controlled.
So
I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a minute.
there's a weakness that we would submit to in ourselves, kind of. I'm trying to
I
understand what would make me agree with you for the sake of agreeing with you, and not because
I mean,
I'm an individual as well.
reason that things like Stockholm syndrome exist. It's not. It's still like sort of wired into women, and men and women are both like we're still animals,
Well,
and you can
I
even
was saying before, like, is there like a trust that you don't have in what I say about my experience? Because I definitely said that there's a strong and a weak force with men and women, and that I'm as a baby, we all ladies need that protection. So there's always that I live under here.
I
But
still think action applies to what I'm saying. You,
but without the choice, you would have to enforce it on me.
yeah.
You would have to punish.
Not if you're a good wife.
But if I was not what you wanted, or I was not what I wanted, I wasn't what someone else's wanted, I would be punished.
I'm at the end of the day, I care more about my children than my wife.
But it would be punishment, right?
Yeah, if they got
If
out of
there's
line.
punishment with women, there would be, where's the line? Would you punish your children?
Yeah, I'd punish my children than
You
my
would
children.
punish your neighbors
Why would I punish my neighbors?
because they're crossing a line that you drew? They're coming
No,
in and stealing chicken eggs or something?
well, yeah, I'd fucking kill them, sure. Yeah, if somebody came in and started stealing my shit, I'd kill them.
So a lot of this still is the same violence that started civilization in the first place.
No, stealing, if you're literally coming into my place and stealing my shit, no, I
But
have a
you're
right to kill.
literally telling me that if I don't agree with you, then I should be punished.
As a woman, yeah.
But not as a human?
It's not about agreement. It's about literally going against, like, if I have a wife and she's literally going against me or going against my children, I'm going to punish her.
But where is the line of understanding? Should it just be, if you, like, every woman who meets you should know that if she does something that you don't like, she'll be punished?
Woman, I'm supplying this only to the women I would choose to marry.
But this is a society, right? You're not going to be married to all of them.
Husbands can enforce it onto their own wives. I don't have
If
any
they
business.
don't enforce it?
I think if men are trying to force other men's wives to do shit, that men should execute them.
What if I talk to other women and say that maybe you could be treated better? That would be a problem, right?
What?
It would be a problem if my husband gave me more freedom than you gave your wives.
Oh, I mean,
And
your
then
husband.
and then I
Want-
talk to your women about my freedom, and they wanted that freedom too.
Then I just smacked the shit out of them when they got out of line.
Is that just supposed to be a joke because you don't know what you would do and this is just all playing games? I'm not sure.
No, it's not a joke. I would smack the shit out of her.
So how do you expect for people to be civil if you wouldn't be civil to the woman that you're spending your life and time with?
I don't give a shit.
I think you're just saying that because you don't know what else to say. You've been
No,
reasonable for so long, and now all of a sudden, and you're talking to a woman who you would want in this position, right?
Not necessarily. I think if your husband could tell you, if your husband's fine with you, that's fine by me.
And if I talk to your women and I get them hurt because I tell them the freedoms and the understandings of, so that's still a punishment to me, right?
If you talk to my women and try to convince them to leave me or something, or to go against me,
no, just not to go against you, but to want more from you.
To want more from me, yeah, I'd smack the shit out of them.
So how do you expect this good society to work? It's just men know the best, and
it would work for men.
It sounds like the same thing that the Bible set up and caused the problems for 2,000 plus years.
Yeah.
I don't think that problems with the Bible relates to the treatment of women. I think that's one of the things the Bible gets right.
Well, I'm saying that you don't get it right, and thus the Bible didn't get it right, and also the Bible didn't get it right.
So far we have the world has tried things in the way that you were describing,
and it worked.
We are at this result.
It didn't work because women are having abortions, and you get angry about it, and you can't do shit about it.
It didn't work because women went against it.
Well, and women will continue to go against it.
They got out of line. That's why it didn't work.
Well, they're going to continue to get out of line, as you would say. You don't have the power to change the bad things that you say they're doing right now. Killing babies, having fucking... getting their tits lobbed off, fucking being CEOs, telling boys what to do.
I can smack them around.
You can't.
Sure I can.
There's too many of them. You haven't
But
done
stop.
it, and you would get
And
tired.
them, I'm my wives.
What?
I'm talking about my wives. I'm not talking about other women. I'm talking about.
But the thing is happening right now that prevents you from
Oh,
having that perfect life.
There's I think there's.
This is my perfect life.
Focusing on the inside world, it's like I have the family. It doesn't apply to the outside world. There's two separate rules. There's a.
It does apply to small communities that I would want to live in.
It what?
It would apply to small communities I would want to live in, like Mormon communities and Amish communities successfully pull this shit off, and I like those.
They get rid of their boys all the time and make them homeless and prostitutes.
What are you talking about?
You ever hear about what happens in Mormon, what are they, enclaves, communities, when boys get out of line and they get kicked out because there's no women for them? When there's a vie for power for the women, it becomes...
Why? I don't believe that there's no women for them, because if you have multiple wives, you have more children. More children.
If there's multiple wives, that means that somebody could have 37 and not... That's what happened at Westbrook or whatever, right? What was that guy's name? Ooh.
Yeah, wives, more children, more future generations of women.
Can you say that again?
More wives, more children, more future generations of women.
Okay. However, this didn't happen in this specific... Can you please help me what his name is? David Lynch or some shit? Weston Hook. He got arrested.
Are you talking about Warren Jeffs?
Warren Jeffs. He did something where he was in that multiple... There was only like 3 or 4 guys who were at some point able to... The community imploded.
Because the thing about Warren Jeffs is he like fucked kids. That's why he got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about his getting arrested. It's about the community that he built of men with power. If the only way to check a man's power so he doesn't keep killing everybody is a woman that he doesn't want to kill, that he doesn't want to hurt.
Where do you get that idea?
From myself. It is my understanding of the dude that has caused chaos and destruction since the beginning of time.
I've found that when I fight my wife on important matters, I lose. I lose in ways that I am completely unaware of.
And it's not just to control you, to tell you what to do. It's just about the sense, right?
And you don't tell me what to do. You provide me an option of you can make this choice, or you can make this other choice. And here are the paths, and this is the truth. These are the results. When I have chosen to follow what you say, even though I don't agree with it, I think things have worked out better than when I have been stubborn.
Men go down dark paths. And our responsibility, if you wouldn't want to beat us up, is to love you the best way. If you would slap me for any fucking reason, I will never love you. I will always betray you. And that will always happen with women. That's why we're here right now.
That happen though, because the only reason that doesn't work is because you're in a society. The only reason it doesn't work is because
society needs to change. It's stupid and fucking gay. And what you want out of life, the best things of what you want out of life, are the best things of what I want out of life. And I know that letting your wife get hit is not going to be good for your fucking children. It will never... What?
I've watched the violence. You've watched the violence.
Yeah, and you've watched the violence. You said that you had a bad past.
Won't be violence if she complies, which she will with the threat of violence.
No, that's fucking stupid. It doesn't
No, it's
matter
not. It
what
works.
threat of fucking violence. My father fought me all the time. Threat of violence, if you do this, I'll spank you. Babies don't even fucking agree. Children say fuck you, do whatever you want. That's the measure of freedom and self. If you don't fucking understand a woman's self, you're never gonna understand your own fucking self. You don't want abuse, right? So you punish other people for trying to fucking abuse you. However, it's gonna do the same. It's the same fucking vicious cycle.
I understand what a woman needs, and it's a smack.
You don't understand what a woman needs. Are you just being a fucking baby to be a baby? We were having such a good conversation. Is it just because you're tired? Do you need your Betty by time? We can pick this up at some point.
My wife, I'd just smack her, and then she'd shut up.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
She wouldn't. What happened to your mom? She left, right? Because she didn't want to get smacked? Or because she just wanted to live her own life? Women don't stick around.
Sure they do when you smack them.
I think you're being a baby right now because I hit a button with you. That you're so adamant that women should be treated less. And you're processing it or something.
They should be treated less.
All of our conversations, we have come
to an understanding, except for this one.
Yeah, because I disagree with you.
You're talking to someone who you agree with things, and it would only happen if I had my individuality. If I was not loved by someone who respected me, regardless, because you could be fucking wrong whenever, and then what, you're gonna not apologize? You're gonna apologize and still think you're some hot shit? It doesn't make any sense. It is not good for your children to see that wife being hit, to see those fucking... Oh, you're gonna hide it. You're gonna this.
Well, then
she doesn't have to be a person who gets upset. Right?
They won't see it.
What?
They won't see her get smacked if she complies.
Oh, okay. So...
Which she would.
It doesn't matter. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. You're saying, do what I say, just do what I say, and it'll be fine. But you are not accepting that this won't happen. Women will never just comply. Do you just comply?
Oh, at work. The communities that do this thrive.
No, they don't. That's stupid and ignorant. Can we not get to that point?
You're just wrong. Statistically, you're wrong.
Statistics? You don't have statistics. It's a word that you said, and you're upset, and I get it. However,
community always works.
Are you denying that you wanted motherly love?
It doesn't is because men don't. That's clearly why our society doesn't.
This is a shitty situation that people got in, right? Where we live right now. That women were pushed to prostitution, pushed to getting away from the things that hurt them, pushed into shelters or pushed into the workforce. How do you think that gets prevented? You just want...
I don't think those
you
things
want the women to do the things that you don't want to do because you're too weak?
What are you talking about? I didn't promote any of those things you said.
Yes, you did, by saying that instead of saying the smart thing, you said smack. It's the easiest fucking thing to do. You just get a smack, and you have to do the
last resort if they don't listen to reason.
So, and who are you? You don't have all the reason.
Sure.
You have to learn the reason. You could be 21 years old, get married tomorrow. You think you're gonna have as much reason as you will when you're 31?
Obviously, I'll improve.
So your behavior to her depends on your intelligence.
No, it depends on her willingness to comply.
It's just comply.
Yes.
It's never gonna work, and I know that it makes you upset because you have
You don't.
the issues with women, but there's an understanding that you don't want to have about women. It seems their potential
No, I
value to
understand
you. You don't want to be
your
responsible for
opinion.
lifting them up. You don't
My
want to be
opinion's based on that.
responsible for lifting women up, right? You're
If
such a
women could
strong
comply,
man, and yet
if women could
complying
comply,
is better
women
than
could comply. If women could comply, then I wouldn't have these opinions. If they could
what does
comply
that mean?
otherwise, I wouldn't think this way. I'm saying that I'm basing my
Comply
views
to
on
stupidity.
Yes, yeah, comply to my stupidity, whatever you want to call it. They have to comply or get smacked, and it'll
So
work.
it's a good thing to comply to stupidity. So what
If
are
you're a
you
woman,
bitching about conservatives? They comply to stupidity all the time.
they are
Everybody
women.
complies to stupidity.
I'm talking about women.
Should people comply to stupidity or not comply to stupidity?
I'm talking about women.
Should anyone? So women should comply to getting shot in the head because a man told them to.
No,
So
not what
then
I'm
it's
talking
either
about.
comply to stupidity or
I
not.
said comply to what's best for my children and family. If I make a deal with a woman,
it's stupid.
if I make a deal, if I make a deal with a woman to comply to me through marriage,
have
and we make
all
a deal,
the
and we
fucking
make a
laws.
deal, and
It's
we make
not-
a deal, and we make a deal,
You're gonna
and we
change
make
your
a deal,
mind.
and
You're
we
gonna
make a
change your
deal,
mind.
and we make a deal,
You
and
don't
we make a
make
deal.
good words.
Shut up. If we make a
You
deal,
don't make
shut up.
words
Shut up.
good.
Shut up. Shut up.
You
If
don't
I make a
have
deal,
the good
shut up.
things to say. You don't know how to
Shut
make
up.
a deal. You
Shut up.
don't know how to make
Shut
a
up.
deal.
Shut
You
up.
gotta stop
If I-
acting
shut up.
like a fucking
Shut up.
bitch right now.
Shut up.
Okay,
Shut up.
we're gonna do
Shut
this
up.
for a second. You're gonna shut up. Because you're saying fucking retarded shit like you did before. That's why we weren't getting along. Because you are willing to make contradictions. I'm gonna wait until you stop running your fucking mouth to admit that you made a contradiction. It's either you comply to stupid or you don't comply to stupid. I will wait. Red Eye, hello, how are you? How was your pee break?
It was fine. I don't really have anything to contribute to this. I'm just observing at the moment.
You were talking about how you would feel the rage and you might have to just kill your woman if she betrayed you, right?
In that context, yeah, it depends on the kind of betrayal, but if she literally killed my kid, yeah.
Okay. So,
like, again, there is levels of betrayal. Like, I think if it's, like, depending on the kind of betrayal, you can obviously work things out to a degree.
Oh, yeah. So, it seems like Corbin wants to have a relationship with a woman that has a contract, that you're not having to learn each other.
I view marriage in a very similar vein. I just haven't really pushed for that here, but like for me, I would look for the kind of woman that would be receptive to that kind of thing in the first place.
Are you married?
Are you not coming through?
Are you married? Are you in a relationship?
I am not.
Have you been in a relationship before?
Not a healthy one, I would say. Like, all my relationships were at a very young age and very short-lived.
You're playing a video game right now, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you better at playing the video game because you've played it, or are you better at playing the video game because you've talked about it?
Well, I mean, I know where you're going with this, but I'll give in anyway. Yes, I am better at this game because I played through it like 15 times.
Yeah, there's a knowledge that you have by experiencing, by doing. I have become better at chopping wood because I wouldn't chop wood.
Well, the thing is, like, I do agree with you in concept. The thing is, there are things that, like, just because you experience something, that is also in a way anecdotal. Like, I'm not denying that there is a good thing to be gained from experience.
But there's also a measuring that can be done.
Sure. But the thing is, I would say with the way things currently are, like, the thing is, marriage itself literally is a legal contract. Like, that's the way, and like the way that the system is currently.
Fuck that shit.
Sure, and
I didn't sign no papers. I don't know
what
the fuck happened.
Like I do think I do think it should be a contract, but here's the thing. I think that that's the purpose of it, because the whole point behind a marriage is you're getting with someone in a way to raise a family, and that's why there's those benefits with that. When it
I
comes
think
down to
that maybe you guys may not understand how a woman feels about this kind of thing. There's, instead of like having a legal document, the love that a man
well,
can at least give me, and I think can give any woman,
I don't
is
really believe in romantic love. Like, I think there is a certain degree of companionship,
no.
sure, but like,
Why? Is that something you'd want to strive for at least?
I'd strive for companionship. If I had a wife that was good to me, I'd be good to her. And like, just because I say just because I would say that there is like a contractual element to it, doesn't mean that it would be like it would. I would intend for it to be mutually beneficial. And just because I would believe at the end of the day that I would have the say doesn't mean that I would be immune to input. Like, I think that a wife does provide a unique perspective and input that is important. But at the end of the day, I think it is human nature for like power dynamics exist in every relationship you have, like
Oh yeah.
whether romantic or platonic.
Do you think that smacking a bitch if she gets out of line, if you have a disagreement, would be conducive to a good relationship, even like an amiable
Well,
one?
I think if it's going that point, you have more problems already, because if it's
Yeah.
reached that point, there's already an issue.
So there's a level of having to at some point, if you got to smack a bitch 5 years later, then something was wrong long ago, and men can be strong enough to take the responsibility, right? And see what went wrong and maybe just nurture, because we're closer to babies than you are. We need your protection. Babies need our protection and your protection. I
Well,
would say, right?
here's the thing. I would say on hold on, let me think for a second. I kind of lost my train of thought. With I'm not saying you just go right to just start smacking a bitch up. Like, I think that ideally in a good relationship you would do everything you could to work things out. But I don't know. I don't know
I think
where
you
the
guys
line
have
would
been
be.
really influenced by like fucking internet, seeing women be fucking terrible right now, right? I mean, you
I
guys are
mean,
in like
I would
a
say it's not just on the internet. There's all sorts of other reasons. I'm not going to go into my personal life, and it's and like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I do like I do separate the individual from the group. Like, I'm not going to immediately hate a person for being a woman. Like, I'm not going to do that. But there are patterns, and there are things just within both male and female nature. And I think a large part of the problem with how we've reached is also, in a large part also due to men, because men are very easily manipulated by the idea of getting pussy effectively, simps giving in and just giving everything to women who have no ties to them, no duty to them, no sort of connection to them, is why we end up where we are, because it comes down to having respect trademark, or having it comes down to like wanting to try and like support people that you have no obligation to support. And I think that is part of the marriage too. I think that you know it's not just a one-way street. There are obligations that the man has too, like to provide and be a good husband and stuff like that.
do you
But
know, or do
go
you
ahead.
have a center idea of the point of man and woman coming together, aside from having children, like the
Well, I think
responsibility to provide a home, but also what does a man want from a woman?
I mean, a man wants, at its core, I think every man, there is a sense, like I said, I don't believe in romantic love, but there is a sense of companionship that is obviously stuck out with it. Uh,
The romantic
uh,
what do you say about romantic husband, because you like that closeness with me, right?
Yes. Um,
right.
I have found that I have been able to explore more of life without being held back by being romantic with you. Since I met you, there was a part of my brain I was always on the lookout for women.
Right. Well, and like here's
the
thing. Like,
when I found her, I think this is really important. When I found you, wife, that part of my brain, that energy that I didn't even know I was spending on looking for women, the extra time I took to like gel my hair and do all this other stuff in the pursuit of women. I now, because I'm in a relationship with you, I can do other things. Now, that romantic love, I have energy to spend on that. I can go and get you flowers. I can do things that you like. I can spend the 5 hours that it takes to make that
you
babka
kind of
bread.
started out like Red Eye, right? Not maybe you wanted the love more, you wanted that romance more, but
I didn't even know. It just like happened. I liked you so much that I wanted to do all these sweet things for you.
There is a certain kind of companionship and love that I would obviously want with my wife, but I don't think that love, apart from the sexual and physical component, is uniquely romantic, which is why I don't really believe in the concept of romantic love per se. Like, I think that love, and this is really fucking cringe and gray, but pardon the lack of a better word, but love is love. And again, I don't agree with the sentiment behind that phrase the way it's usually used, but
okay, what I would say love is trying to achieve more love with someone else, trying to achieve.
But isn't that defining a word with the word itself?
Yeah, of like
kind
something.
Of
love is trying to explore all the positive things with a man or with a woman if you're a man. If there is could we develop romance even if it's not just, oh, love is a thing that just comes to you and blah blah blah. It's something that has to be discovered and maintained. We're all fucking weirdos when we meet.
Yeah, I think that I've discovered that being romantic with you is not only me feel good, you feel good.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm against like the gestures, right? Like, I would want to
more of yourself and give more benefits to me. Two-way street. I've given to you in romance because women want romance.
Yeah, I want romance. Romance
so
is...
I provide the thing that you want, just like you provide. You want me to provide,
and it makes you
protection.
hard.
You want me to provide you a house. You want romance. I provide that to you, and then you in turn provide me with the things that I need,
like the strength to get houses.
Yeah, to go
right. I'm not saying that like I said, I don't think it's a one-way street. I think that there is a give and take in any relationship. I just think that there is a balance and a natural power dynamic that does emerge. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, it needs to be like that. I just think that it is just our nature. And I think that there is a degree of it that is just ingrained in us and always will be. It's evolutionary because that's how our species is, and that's how most animal species are. There are exceptions, obviously, like spiders and stuff like that.
Yeah, eating heads and shit. Praying mantises.
All right. Well, Corbin wanted me to say he did find a better way to articulate what he wanted to say.
Hi, Corbin. How are you? What do you think?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so when it comes to if I'm already, to me, if I've given a woman a place to live and I've given her food and I've hunted food, I mean, I've given her food, I've given her children, and to me that is my showing of love to her. And if she cannot comply with me to cook that food or to give me her body, then to me that is her not showing love to me, and then that is not a compliance. And then if I have children, and then she's started being the bad example in front of my children. So to me, hitting her in return is not the bad example to my children. What she has already done is the bad example.
If she decides that she doesn't feel like she wants to do sex with you, that may be a more internal problem that needs to be explored, or is that just comply?
Well, I don't think he's advocating go straight to violence either. I think that's like the most extreme that he's giving, but I don't think that Corbin's advocating go straight to violence. He did say it's a last resort. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know exactly which lines I would draw
like
in
like
my marriage
weeks,
with that sort of thing because I haven't experienced that yet, and I do.
Like if she's like cutting off sex completely, like for weeks or something, or she's like not willing to cook the food, or she's just like, oh, given up on being my wife, then I feel like I have to teach her a lesson.
If there must have been a problem within those weeks, right? Are you talking to her?
Oh, why is the problem all of a sudden automatically have to be with me? Because
I don't think she was saying the problem was with you, Corbin. I think she was saying there is a problem inherent. But I think that Corbin would advocate talking it out with her first. Like I don't think he's saying just go straight to that. He's saying he would talk first, and that's
it's a little bit of a problem to jump to that kind of. If you jump to a conclusion just with me, you know, what about your wife? There's a dynamic that happens with a woman or a man and a woman that are trying to love each other where they're always figuring each other out. So there's weeks of having to be softer and gentle.
I don't want my woman to figure me out. Not my wife.
Who do you want to figure you out?
Friends, sure, but my wife, I don't want to even know who I am completely.
So she won't
I don't think
be
that's what's good for a relationship.
To you?
You have to give them that hunger. You have to make them want more of you.
I don't think that would make me want more of my husband. I want him all the time. Him keeping himself from me makes me angry. Makes me feel like we're not together.
I'm sure that anger will give you more value when he gives it to you.
What do you mean?
It's more value. That's literally what the definition of value is.
No, I'm trying to understand.
It'll be more valuable if he gives you less. If he gives you less, it is more valuable.
I don't think that that's the definition of real value. That's just the definition.
Well, that is value. That literally is what value is.
That's coin value. That's the shit that men do between governments with trading and stuff.
Well, yeah, love is a business. I get what I want.
I don't think that it is a business. I think that if
it's love. I fancy you. I think that I love your kisses. I think you are so sweet. I think that I really care about your thoughts and your feelings.
I don't think it's about that at all. I think that's all just a silly show. It's about getting close to someone, because when I met husband, my mother had just died. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was happy that there was a man in my life that wanted to give me that protection, and I wanted to promise him that I would.
Well, I already said I do that.
However, we have problems communicating, and usually often he has used that lack of communication against me, and it's become a fight instead of understanding each other. So if he doesn't want to let me be the one that sees him the most, I think it's gay to have anybody else in that position besides the woman that you're spending forever with and making kids with. It's gay to have a friend in that position.
What?
You don't want your wife to be the closest one to you, right?
No, yeah, I don't.
I think that's gay.
Okay.
I think I know for a fact that that's gay, because there are parts of you that a part of the universe that you wouldn't.
Well, as long as I'm not literally fucking a man, I don't care how gay it is.
Why not?
Why should I care how gay it is if I'm not literally having sex with a man? To me, that's what's gay. If I'm having sex with my wife and having children with her, I don't care about. That's the only reason gay is immoral to me, is because there's no product.
Because of the physicalness, not because of the mentalness. Where do you think gay starts? In the ass or in the mind?
Yes, in the ass.
How does it start? You have to think about having sex with a man before you do it. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm not thinking about having sex with men. I'm thinking about having sex with my wife. I'm not talking about
you. I'm talking about the faggots who are thinking about having sex with men and then doing it.
Then I don't know what you're talking about. Well, how does this relate to me?
That there's a position that you're giving your friends instead of your wife. There's a closeness.
Sure, I think that friends should be closer to each other
then
than
you're not going to
women.
have a good wife. You can't have the best relationship with a wife that you don't want to have the best relationship with. Are you just...
Well, then I'll form a better relationship with my other wives, and then she will exclude her. Bye-bye.
You're being retarded again.
Okay.
There's a relationship that you would not give anybody else unless you were gay. No, your friends won't be closer than your wife. It will never happen. Even if you believe it, it won't be true because you spend you're gonna spend the most time with her, right? I assume, because you're spending time with your kids.
They're gonna be there when you wake up, when you go to sleep. They're there all the time. There's a relationship that gets built when you spend time.
Well, no, because I'll be spending most of my time actually doing the work and shit, and I'll be doing that with my friends.
How do you know that you'll be doing all this work with your friends? So the time with your kids isn't relevant now?
Sure it is, but why does that even have to be involved with my wife? Why does why does my wife need to be included when I'm spending time with my kids?
Because you won't know how to
I
love
still
your
want to spend
children.
I want to spend time with my kid and my wife at the same time, but not.
Hold on 1 second. You will not be able to love your kids if you do not love your wife.
That's retarded.
That you're making assumptions about... You understand love? You understand love so much that you can define it for everybody now?
I'm defining it for me.
That's a bet. If you're gonna start a cult, it's gonna be bad. Don't you want
No, my cult's gonna be based.
You're gonna fucking post memes everywhere? Is that what this cult's gonna be about?
There's not gonna be any internet involved. I'm gonna literally... There's not even gonna be internet in my cult.
You don't need internet for fucking memes.
There's not gonna be electricity.
Memes were around before internet. We were just talking about...
Well, literally no, but...
They were
literally,
the term meme was coined in like the 12th century.
So
well, like, what kind of memes are that? What kind of memes exactly would that be?
We said memes. You said literally memes. So let's go by what Red Eye said.
What kind of memes would that be, though?
Whatever fucking meme you want it to be. Lol, let's hit
what
our kids.
What does that mean, though?
Lol, let's hit our wife. Whatever meme you want it to be, and everybody relates to it. It'll be your culture.
I literally don't know what that means.
You literally don't know what means.
In this context, what the heck does memeing with my friends mean?
Well, you used it, right? You were like, or did I use it? I don't remember now.
You used it. I don't know what you're implying.
Anyway, meme is a thing that people share. It's an image or a term that people have a deeper understanding for that usually gets fucking way blasted out of control. I'm out. What does that mean? I have no idea. Children make no sense to me. Is it because their parents abused them? Probably, because we were abused.
But see, this kind of conversation is why I'd rather spend time with my friends.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't want to have these kinds of conversations with my wife.
But you decided to have these conversations with me.
Well, yeah, I'm not marrying you, am I?
So I don't know what kind of chaos you're trying to bring when I'm trying to understand why you...
I'm not trying to bring chaos. I'm trying to tell you my actual opinion.
Your opinion is chaotic, and it comes from a series of abuse that you endured and that you perpetuated in yourself because you were drawn to chaotic, crazy things like Fight Club. Listen, dude, we are on the same page. It's just that you think that someone should have the right to hit me, that there isn't an alternative, that women don't have a love to offer you past.
Well, I think if you're literally a scumbag who's doing what's worse for your children, then yeah.
What does that have to do with anything? Now you're just making up an enemy?
What do you mean? This has been in line with the argument I've been making the whole time.
what that this woman is a scumbag, right? Is that who this scumbag is? Who's
Because I'm
scumbag?
saying that I would only hit her if she was literally doing what's bad for my children, or being a bad, or what's bad for.
How
Like
do
that's what
you?
I'm
But
saying, is that if she's
you're
not
going
following
towards
her
like there's
obligations
no
as my
hope.
wife, if
It's
I'm
not
following my
about
obligations, if I'm following my obligations as husband and she's not following her obligations as wife, there has to be
How do
some
you
sort of
know what
repercussion.
obligations are until you meet the woman?
I'm meeting the obligations by providing a place and food and
And what
a
happens if
family.
that shit loses? What happens if the government fucking takes it? What happens if you lose your job?
Well, then then my wife will become useless.
And you'll become useless in return?
Sure, and then we can break it off. If it's not for the sake of having
So why
children, I
doesn't
don't
she
care.
fucking hit you then? That, oh look, you've wasted my life.
Because it doesn't have anything to do with what are you talking about? If you're saying the government, I didn't do anything.
If you lose your job and you have children and you can't find another job, then should your wife hit you for not being a provider for your children? Should she leave you for the black guy next door?
Well, wouldn't happen. Because I would
Bullshit.
because I'm saying that
That shit happens all the time.
in this ideal scenario that I'm talking about anyway,
Well, why
I would be
not
living
make
self-sufficiently. I wouldn't have a job.
your ideal situation is something that imprints on everything that you do.
It wouldn't. It's
we're
not like
trying
I'd be
to
getting.
work-
It's not like I'd be going, putting on a suit and being like, "Oh, hello, fellow. Let's work in the factory or some shit." Like I'm talking about living a self-reliant lifestyle with it. Like I'm saying, gardening, hunting, fishing,
So
things
we're,
like
we're
that.
trying
If
to
you're
work towards
not
that. We want to
doing-
make that a reality, right?
Yeah.
So here,
That should be a reality, but
how are the
it's not
logistics?
any better if you hit women in it. Because in this world, I can kill your child, and you can go on TikTok and watch all the women kill their babies and laugh at you for not being man enough for whatever reason. That's the world we live in right now. I want your world just as much as you do, minus the dumb shit that's in this world. That's the conversation that we're having.
Well, what in this scenario though, you're literally just saying the women can do whatever the fuck.
No. I've already told you that I want to be submissive to my husband.
What motivation? Why would they comply otherwise?
Because we desire the protection. We desire.
And I already said I provide that. I'm saying I provide what I'm supposed to provide, and they still don't.
I desire to be submissive to someone I want to be submissive to. If he's gonna ever hit me for whatever
and if you already
reason,
decide that, and then have a wife, and then have children, and then have a home, and like literally are depending on him, and then still fuck him over, then he should slap you.
Space. No, that doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of space.
Why doesn't it?
Because there is a lot of space of two people growing together that you denied because you said that you're not going to spend much time with her.
And so that gives her the right to fuck me over.
If you don't get that closeness, there's no reason not to. That's just
okay.
It's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but then you won't be able to see how you're fucking her over. Because you're not getting
How am I
close
fucking her over? I've given her a house. I've given her children. I've given her food. How have I fucked her over?
That's not all she wants. She wants.
I don't give a shit what she wants. I care about what's important. The only reason we'd be together is for children. That's the only reason I'd be with her in the first place. The only reason I'd be with her is for children. I don't want her love. I don't want her love. I want children.
And you don't want a fucking world where you get to be a cult leader. Because it'll never happen. You'll be fucking Waco'd with that attitude. There is a relationship past fuck. Do you like being governed? You want to govern yourself,
yeah, a little
right?
bit. Okay. No, but yeah.
If you want to govern yourself, you have to restrict yourself to the things that mean self-governance. And if a woman also has to govern herself, there are things that I've realized that I need. I need, in order to have that contractual agreement, instead of writing it in blood, instead of getting a lawyer, pen and paper, it's
if
the love that
having
we
children
show each
and
other
food
every
and a place to
single
live
day.
isn't good enough for you, you can go fuck yourself.
No. That doesn't. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're just pushing the same agenda over and over again. Can we try to meet on? If you agree with me,
Well, I'm
with
not
some
talking
things,
about you though, am I?
yes, you are.
I'm
Because
literally not.
you literally are. This is a situation where you want the world to be a certain way. And you want to...
No, I want my life to be a certain way.
Well, is it...
We
so
share,
it's going to be...
this world together.
Yeah, we share the world together.
And my wife will agree to this life, or she won't be my wife.
If you fantasize unrealistically, you're going to drive yourself fucking insane.
It's not an unrealistic fantasy.
It is.
Tons of people have pulled it off.
And then they got Waco'd.
That one time Waco happened, yeah.
Yeah, but Waco is just a word to describe all the other things. People get fucking bombed all the time. They all get arrested. There's all fucking sex trafficking.
And that's not a problem with those communities. It's literally a government problem. It's not even caused by the wives.
I didn't say it was caused by the wives. It's caused by the men that don't have oversight because they can't govern themselves well.
Well, no, they literally got fucked by the government.
What about the people who get arrested and have their children taken away on abuse?
I wouldn't... What?
There are groups of...
I never say anything about abusing my children.
It doesn't matter. If the government tells you you're abusing them because they are working, or because you have multiple wives and that's illegal, or because you throw your...
Well, that's a government problem again. This doesn't have anything to do with...
So
this has to do with the government.
The government will never touch you?
Well, why are you making it about the government?
Because I want the reality that you want, minus the bad things. And the government...
But this was about the woman, though. What is the government? Why is the government being brought into this?
Because we are never going to have a world where women want to be submissive to you, so in turn they will just let government continue.
Not the ones that would be under my thumb.
It's not going to happen, though. You're we're trying to bring fantasy to reality, and it's always just beat the women that is blocking you. So you won't ever get this because you want the women to just stay and be submissive to government instead of you. Your abuse is worse than theirs, I guess.
Okay. As long as it's women, I don't care.
But you do because you want this world.
How do you plan?
Yeah, I want this, but the government is going to fuck me over no matter what I do. The government is.
I don't think it will. I think
the government. Why does the woman's feelings have nothing to do with the government's involvement?
It does. That's why they're chopping dicks off and saying you're a girl and having women.
That's why you smack them. The reason women do that is because they don't get smacked. The reason women do that is because they don't get smacked.
Maybe we should end it here, and you should take a nap and regroup. And we should
well, I'm gonna have the same opinion tomorrow. I don't think you what the conversation led to.
Because I think you might, if you were smart, and I know you are. You've showed me you're smart.
Well, you haven't presented me a better option.
You haven't let me.
Present me a better option. Go ahead.
What if?
Go ahead. Present a better option.
Shh. Both of you, shut up. I have told you that within a woman, if you love them and don't ever want to go towards violence, doesn't matter what your ideal
then she'll fuck
never me. About. No, she won't, because I wouldn't fuck my husband. Well, I do fuck you all the time, but I wouldn't. Have I ever betrayed you, husband? You've betrayed me, haven't you, motherfucker? Right?
Yeah.
So, how can I trust men to not betray? Just let the men run free, those people who fucking have made the world bad for years and years and years. I'm saying...
Oh yeah, the women made it so much better.
The men made the wars. You can't blame it on the women. If men are too weak and they got manipulated by women, then that's your fault, isn't it? So what I'm proposing is to all the men stop being.
And how did the women fix those wars exactly?
I'm fixing it right fucking now.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you make them in the first place for me to fix?
Well, I obviously didn't.
So you're always
in my hypothetical scenario, I'm anti-war. What I mean, like I'm
push...
literally anti-war. In my
so then don't advocate for war.
Ideal life scenario, I'm not going to start promoting war.
You advocated for war between you and a woman, and don't tell me it's not fucking
That's
war
not
because
war.
it is. It is absolutely
It's slavery.
War.
It's better.
Slavery is war.
Slavery is good. War is bad. Slavery is good.
You're trying to prove
slavery
a
is good
by just being an asshole. I'm trying to offer an alternative, and you don't fucking want it, do you? You want a woman that will just fucking do whatever you want in your fucking dream. You can punch and come on your fucking waifu pillow because you will not get anything but a stupid, weak woman in the state you're at now. And I know you're better than this. You were better than this fucking hours ago. So I really think that we can go back to this tomorrow or the next day or whenever you'd like. Because I want the person that I met a couple hours ago rather than the one I'm talking to right now. You have no reason. You won't listen to
I'm the same person I was a couple hours ago.
Men.
I just wasn't talking about these opinions specifically. The only way that I could not show you this is just to talk about something else.
I think that you are way more reasonable than you're depicting yourself to me right now.
I don't believe there is reason with women.
You've been reasoning with me all fucking night. What are you talking about? See, you need a break. I don't know what you need in the meantime, but
okay,
I'm sure.
But if you think it's gonna change tomorrow, you're gonna be. If you think it's gonna change the next time, you're gonna be disappointed.
What do you think, Red Eye? Do you think he'll listen to? Does he listen to you often as a fan of yours?
Well, I don't like. I think a lot of these issues, obviously, he's pretty consistent about. I think the problem is a lack of tact, which is something he's aware of because I've told him he's not very tactful multiple times.
Do you think that tact is something that you could come back with tomorrow? Bright and fresh, or some
yes, I was being tactful about other things before, but when it comes to this, I don't believe there is tact. I just think that
you're contradicting yourself. If you're contradicting yourself, you're being stupid, and you don't want to be stupid.
How am I contradicting myself?
You're contradicting yourself because you said that you don't need tact with women. There is no reasoning with a woman, and yet you're talking to one. And we're agreeing with
I don't think this has been a very reasonable conversation.
But you did think the reasonable conversation happened prior.
Well, I never really I've been willing to talk to you, and I will admit there's a level of reason I might be able to get with you. But overall, I don't consider you reasonable. I think you are still an unreasonable person compared to any other man. Mm-hmm. You might be more reasonable than other women, but compared to men, you're still not.
So far from my observation, my opinion fucking matters. My wife has been more reasonable than out of the 4 people that are in this conversation. She's been more reasonable.
I mean, it is a vote, but if you want to get your wife here, wait. You know? I think that if you allowed yourself...
I hated women better than you, obviously.
You've never met me, motherfucker. And you never will. I mean, it sucks. Everybody deserves me, I guess. Or everybody deserves who I am because I'm loyal and I suck a mean dick. And I'll love you fucking forever. Nobody's going to be faithful to you if you want to abuse them, if they get online. If they hear that from you...
True. In fact, the more rude I've been to women, the more they have liked me.
I don't believe it. I think you're just taking advantage of...
No, it literally was the way it was.
Seen a poor pattern.
Well, that's the way it was.
But that does not make the pattern that you saw.
It doesn't mean that it's a good thing. So
women
don't be
actually
responsible.
Attract more aggressive men. That's objectively true.
It's not objectively true. That's a thing that you fucking heard from somewhere. There's a distinction between what you learn from people and the things that you don't like.
No,
from
it's
them.
provable. It's in through my experience.
Then it's only provable through your experience?
Well, my experience, it has been true that women have liked me more when I have been more
Maybe
aggressive
you've
and openly
been
sexy.
maybe you're bad at measuring. Is it possible that you're only 21 and you haven't had enough experience? That your brain isn't fully developed yet?
Well, all the women that have disagreed with me have been giant cunts so far, so
And maybe that's your opinion because you meme around, you troll around, and you don't let them. Women don't like that. So if you're acting like yourself with them, they may not get to see the best part of you. But you don't want to show them anyway because you'd rather show your friends more. Tom friends.
If you want this thing, if you want your prey, you have to give them the bait, and you're not giving them the bait.
Yeah,
You're,
I mean, aside
you're
from
using
the
shitty things,
couple of women that liked your abuse, but where are they? If they liked it so much,
you use shitty bait.
you know how people say, you catch more
flies with sugar than.
Yeah, well, you catch even more with shit.
Okay, so you want your woman to be a fly? I mean, is there any reason?
Where's?
Do you want? Is it a good idea to make women hurt? Is that the point? Because
no, if they comply, they won't.
No,
if they,
I'm
if
not
they
complying right now, and this hurts me.
They will give everything they want if they comply.
I'm never going to comply, and this hurts me.
Well, I don't need you to comply.
There's a certain level of dignity that men don't want to show women. They don't want to show us how special we are.
Because they throw it in their face when they do.
I understand.
They manipulate the women. That's the women naturally see that weakness and they manipulate it.
Okay, but you are also too weak to say, "Hey, woman, no cry." Right? You can't. You're too weak to make the situation better. You're just gonna feed into their dumb bullshit.
Well, I was always saying it as a last example, but you can't wrap your mind around it.
Even as a last example, it's bad.
Well, that's stupid.
Why is it stupid? Because you have to be
because
the big strong man
basically
winner?
that just means I have to let her fuck me over.
No, you don't have to be with her.
I'm saying,
but you have to
Okay,
try. You
I
have
already
to
have
sacrifice
kids with her.
a
If I
bit.
already have kids with her,
how did you get to that place in the first place? That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying, though, is if I've already gotten through with it, if she's already made the contract with me, if she has already had the kids with me,
which
I've
means
already put
you
the
were
roof
mean
over her
and
head and given her
submissive.
food.
You made her submissive to you in the beginning. That the woman you attracted was someone who you were mean to, and they loved it.
Mm-hmm.
That's daddy abuse. I mean, those are the
cool.
women.
That's the best kind of abuse, baby.
That's all abuse is bad. It's not even. I'm not gonna
boo.
laugh at it.
Boo, Ben, boo.
I understand that this hurts you.
It doesn't. I love it.
No, that's why you're acting out. You can prove to me, you can prove to yourself by being the same person you are consistently without getting upset that I think women shouldn't be hit or that you should be stronger.
No, you're right. I should just let them fuck me over and be like, "I love you, baby." Shut up, man. Oh, okay, honey. I'll let you cut my children's dicks off.
Talk about
honey.
putting fucking words in my mouth. If you and listen to what I'm trying to say, instead of making insinuations, we gotta talk. Communication is a problem, right? We gotta communicate. And what I'm saying is that women should not hurt boys and boys should not hurt girls.
But what do I do when she does hurt my children?
Why did you get there in the first place? The point is to start.
What the fuck? What the fuck does it always come to that for?
Because the relationship starts from the beginning.
So it's always it basically just comes back to it being my fault.
No. The relationship starts in the beginning. That's all. I didn't say it's your fault. The relationship starts in the beginning. Okay?
Starting off at the contractual thing, we're skipping steps.
Right? Yes. You're meeting someone for the first time. How do you react? Why is it the person you're attracted to? Why is she attracted to you? What do you like in a girl?
Be attracted to the aggression of a male. Women like dominant men.
I'm okay.
Maybe
so
you don't, but maybe that's because you're a defective one.
Here's the problem. That only abused people like that abuse.
Like, see, you have a more, like, I would say the reason your relationship with your husband probably works is because he's a more submissive type while you're a more dominant type, which does happen occasionally, but it's still not as healthy as a relationship would be if you were the submissive and he was the dominant.
I'm talking about the abuse that women put up with when they're children. I had less abuse than most. I wasn't fucking raped, or I always stood up to my father. I tried to fucking throw punches. That's why I'm how I am. Because I did not want to back down to stupid and lazy and abusive boys. All the time. That was my fucking past. Should I have submitted to my father who wanted to... It made me what I am. However, women that... or girls that don't have the balls to stand up to their father become okay with abuse. They become...
And I'll pick them up. They'll come in my car.
You have to be sensitive to them.
Actually, usually the ones with the daddy issues become more submissive. So
you're not picking them up in a good way. You're just making slaves, and I don't agree with that.
Well, that's why you wouldn't be involved, right?
If you don't like it, you because we exist in the world together.
So stay in the lane. Just stay.
Well, if it's their choice, why does it matter to you if they're choosing?
Because they don't have a choice. Because they're
they do.
It's like everybody else. They're
okay.
So
you're taking away. So you're saying that women don't have the choice.
I want to take away people's choice to be fucking stupid. Absolutely.
Well, that's stupid.
So you want to be stupid? You want your daughters to be stupid? You want stupid
I want my daughters
to
get with strong men that will provide for them. I don't care if their husbands love them.
So they could be stupid.
Sure, yeah. I actually think women should be stupid and just listen to their husbands.
How is being stupid?
It's a good survival technique for women.
Explain.
If my daughter is stupid,
explain the logic in it, not just your dumb bullshit.
How is being
what the fuck? What that doesn't even make sense.
How is stupid beneficial in nature?
For women, it is because, well, I mean, actually, it is like because women play up.
Okay, so you were wrong. All of a sudden, it is and it isn't, right?
What?
So we've established that being stupid isn't good for a woman.
That's
you said
not
it
what
is,
I'm saying.
And then actually
I'm saying
it isn't.
It's good for a woman to shut up and play stupid at least, and
so
go
then
along.
Then we're not talking about the same thing. I'm talking about stupid, and you're talking about playing stupid.
Well, I mean, sure, it would work if she's stupid, if she's actually stupid too, as long as the man is actually going to provide and do the things. Like I would have to approve the man. I would have to approve my daughter.
You are not. You cannot.
I wouldn't let my daughter be with a man unless I approved of it.
Stupidity. If you want stupidity to flourish, you can't be the stronger man.
Back to that
what
thing we were talking.
What are you talking about
before? The strong men.
Oh yeah, strong men build what?
Good times or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So strong men are violent towards women. I don't see how that makes for a good time.
Makes a good time for men. That's all I care about.
So you don't care about your children then?
I care if my daughter gets with a man that can provide for her.
And you don't care about your son?
What? Of course I care about my... What
you
are you
don't
talking
care about
about?
your son because you want to expose him to violence. Instead of getting rid of violence,
if my wife is disobedient, she's already exposed my son to bad behavior. She's already set a bad example.
I'm talking about violence. not
I don't
bad behavior
think
in
it
general.
matters. I think that
no.
if my husband, I think my son should do the same thing to his wife.
You're exposing children to violence.
And they will learn from it.
They will learn to hate you. Just like you probably don't like anybody who's been violent to you.
Look at
well, it'll
what
make them
happens
stronger,
when
wouldn't it?
Children exposed
No, it's
to
made
violence.
you weaker.
It's made children more violent. It's the people who grow up
It makes
in
those
Israel
fucking little
and
nigger
in
babies shooting
Palestine.
guns fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
their fathers abandoned them. Their fathers weren't there to beat their.
Those kids rapping, you know, they can.
I think that the problem with black men is they don't stay in those homes and beat their wives long enough.
You're being retarded again.
So.
Yeah. Right?
Why would you want to be retarded?
Okay. I mean, you pull it off pretty well all day, every day.
That's not conducive to a good talk. I mean, you're being a child.
I mean, you said I'm stupid, and then I have to fit within. I have to argue with that. I mean,
you have to not be stupid.
Oh, okay. Well, then, can you give me the same treatment?
The same treatment as what?
Not being stupid.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, it's in your nature, in your blood.
Stupidity isn't in people's nature. Stupid isn't in nature. Is that how you respect?
Stupid is as stupid does.
That's a movie reference. I understand that you grew up learning from movies, but this isn't a movie right now.
Oh.
That there
I
is
am in the real world.
If you are anti-war, you have to get rid of war everywhere, don't you?
I'm not anti-slavery though.
So you're not anti-violence, you're just anti-war. What's the difference?
Well, I'm anti-violence against men.
So you're gay.
Sure, if that's the way you want to view it. I'm not literally. I don't advocate having sex with men, but homoeroticism.
It doesn't matter you have sex with men or not. That you appreciate.
You can call me gay. That's the only part
more
of
than
homosexuality
women. No, I don't
want to
call you gay. I'm stating
I think that the
a
homosexuality part is the bad part.
Oh, coming in something else is better than so just coming an animal, right? Because your woman's an animal. There's not a good feeling. Are you a virgin?
No, I've had sex with one girl.
Have you had sex with women that you connect to?
No.
So you don't know the benefits. You just want to exacerbate what you know?
Huh?
You don't know if there are benefits from having
I've never known women to be able to benefit me with their love or romantic love of any kind.
Okay, but if I say that it's possible, it doesn't matter.
And if
Well, yeah, you can say whatever you want, can't you?
No, I'm asking you if it matters to you at all. That
well,
there
I mean,
is
you literally
some proof.
can say whatever you want.
But I want
should I just believe it?
Absolutely not. I think that you could ask questions, or you could just watch how
I do base my views on the conversations and personal experiences I've had with women. It is based on experience.
I've been saying the whole day that people are stupid, right? We're manipulated by drug companies. We're manipulated by consumerism. We're manipulated by so many things, and I know that men and women alike have been manipulated to hate each other because they just want to grab for all these things. They want to have the degrees or have the most cars or be the thing that's most attractive to someone.
And if women get in the way of that, then...
But women are participating in that too. I mean, you can't deny the world you exist in. You can only try to fix it, right? You can't fix things if you deny it.
I'm literally only saying if the woman doesn't comply.
That I don't know what that means. It's literally only men are too stupid
if
to do
I
this
give
without
her
women.
everything and she gives me nothing, then
You're
I am
not
entitled.
giving her everything. She wants love and you don't want to give it to her.
What kind of love are we talking
She
about?
wants to
What
be
do you mean
your
by
number
love?
one.
What do you mean by love?
I will tell you exactly what I mean. It's trying to reach a closer connection to her.
And how do I do that?
By talking to her, by sharing with her, by trying to understand her and trying to give
By
her
giving her
understanding
stuff that
about
she can
you.
use against me to fuck me, right?
No, it shouldn't happen. I mean, I know that it might be a vulnerable position when you first meet someone and you don't have to give everything all the time right away. You know what I mean? There's an inching
Sure, over
together.
time, if I do it over time, it would work better.
Yeah.
Like I can give her bits of myself over time, sure.
Yeah. That would be, I mean, how else would you do it? You can't just go on a first date and give her all of yourself.
I'm finding new things all the time with you, wife.
But there always has to be that mystery, though. You have to leave a large amount of mystery in order to have her intrigued and stay with you.
I don't think there needs to be mystery.
Life.
I don't want the mystery of my husband. I want all of my husband. I can't
All
love the
women
parts.
do. That's the
I
nature of
can't
women.
love the parts that I don't see. Right?
You can.
I can't just lack that or love that you don't give me the information. I want.
Look, every friend I've known that has actually like spoken out to their, like, given their emotions and spilled their guts to the woman immediately didn't like them. The woman immediately was like, "Ew, I don't like seeing this side of him. I don't want to be with him. He's not a real man."
Worth, but did it expose that they were?
I think that she was bad and stupid, but a war with women isn't gonna cause or isn't gonna cure this. I think, and call me crazy.
Well, if I don't learn from patterns, then what the kind of fucking idiot am I?
I know that you can learn from patterns, and it's a good thing that you learn from patterns. But hi, I'm also part of the pattern. That there's someone saying that we can do something different, so maybe if we talk about it, we can do something. It's not the way I came into it with husband is I wanted to start a war with everybody because I was lonely and scared when I was younger. However, I submitted to, I'm not gonna let you be just somebody else. I'm never gonna betray you. I'm always gonna fucking try to get closer to you. And that's something that a lot of people aren't smart enough to do right now.
Though. Women do say that a lot and then immediately fuck over their husbands.
My wife, you would talk about patterns. That pattern has never showed up in my relationship.
Have I ever betrayed you? Have I ever lied to you except that time I deliberately did so you'd shut the fuck up?
Only
and then I admitted right away, told you about it.
In 11 plus years, that has been one lie, and it's because I forced you in a position where I was being.
What I'm asking of you, May Dixie Wrecked, Waffles.
I love that you said it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
May Dixie Wrecked?
Yeah.
Oh, my dick's erect! Ah! I did it. What I'm asking of you, my dick's erect, is to just open yourself to the possibility that the best things in life come from a man being strong enough and knowledgeable enough to know that he can make a woman submit with his ultimate fucking love.
Not violence.
Without that betrayal,
I still think violence is good for a last resort, though.
It's the only last thing, but that's what bad thing ends up, right? Bad thing end up bad.
Relationships be built on violence, but I mean, like, even though on some level, some like sexual aggression is appealing to women, Like most women are into that shit. Like most girls I was with were into, like I had girlfriends that fantasize about rape and having their hair pushed.
We're dealing with our issues, I think, because didn't I
Most,
want to do that with you, husband, for a while, and
yeah,
it didn't feel good for you, and it didn't feel good for me, but that closeness that we had together was the only thing that told us that.
yeah, we experimented in that.
Well, that's because you have a very different dynamic than most men and women do. He is clearly a more submissive personality type, while you are a more dominant personality type, which is not typical in most relationships.
I don't think it's about dominant and submissive. I think that what we do on the internet is different than what we do in life, because this is my message that I'm trying to get out, and he's trying to play support role with me. So in a way, you have to be submissive to the message that I'm trying to speak, because it's my words and not yours.
My wife has spent
But
time. She has the war of the mind and of the words, where my wife's talents lie.
That's obviously not common for women.
Different areas. I have a lot of.
I want to give it to that knowledge that I have. I want to give it to you so that you can be stronger, and I want to give it. I want the opportunity for other people to hear it so that they can be stronger, so that everybody will be.
But because of the position that you are taking, your husband will never be in that position. Your husband will never be the dominant personality type. You will be the dominant, and he will be the submissive, and that's how your relationship. That's the only way your relationship is going to function between you two.
He can be dominant
that's the way
where he's dominant. It's not my fault that I was the one that has this information. You know what I mean? And I would never degrade husband because of so.
I wouldn't say it's because you have information. I would say that it's literally just your personality type.
It's not my personality type. I had to do this because I had to do it. It's not my personality type at all. I spent my entire life in my room by myself.
I've watched my wife find these things. I've watched her develop an understanding and a knowledge that I do not have. I have spent my time, my energy doing other things. So it comes to knowledge of the self, knowledge of a relationship. I
couldn't be in your position. I couldn't listen to a woman talk like that. I couldn't listen to my own wife talk to me like that every day. I could not be in that position.
I don't talk to him like this every day. I want to have conversations that are way more fucking chill, when we don't have to argue about abuse and stuff. We have fucking pillow talk all the time. But this is the internet, and there's a lot of male force that comes against me, and it's just something that I had to develop to survive here. I just want to say, hey, everybody, I know how to love each other. You got to think of these things. You got to think of all the contradictions that you make. You have to give to your husband and to your wife what you think you should give to your job and your government and your company and fucking land, love, and whatever people, boys like. They like their jobs. They like their friends. They like their groups of people, and they distance themselves from.
Why has it got to be you that tells people this, though?
Huh?
Why has it got to be you that tells people this? I know lots of men that say the same thing in a much more articulate and authentic way.
I don't think you get to define what articulate is. It's just what you understand. And this is a new language for you because I'm a chick, and you have a lot of reservations against chicks. It doesn't have to be me. I don't know anybody that says what I say. I would love to talk to them. I would love to share ideas with them.
I know people with the same sentiment that articulate it better.
What sentiment? This is what my sentiment is.
I mean, what you're saying, like, about government and consumerism and all that shit, like, it gets spread a lot by men. Like, men say shit like that all the time.
And they don't do shit about it. And I'm trying to do something about it. It happens to be.
Well, what are you doing what are you doing other than talking like men do?
Men don't talk like I do. for one.
Well, yeah, they articulate it better.
No, they don't. You're just in their cult.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here just trying to experience, right? Trying to talk these things out. And the point.
Well, Ayn Rand articulated shit a lot better too.
I
She was a
think
woman.
that she was wrong about lots of stuff. So she
I
articulated
do too, but she was
things.
more right overall
But
than you.
she articulated wrong things, and you're attributing stuff to her because she has thousands of pages, and you just met me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, she can say in a sentence what you can't say in like 10 paragraphs.
That's what you think, that a lot of that information is there that you might not find necessary at the time, but I'm doing it for a reason. Because you don't get the reason doesn't mean that the reason isn't there.
Just like we were talking about at the very beginning of our conversation.
What was that?
That it takes more words to make.
Yeah. That our realities are exposed by the words that we can use to describe them, right?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of talking has to go on, and a lot of the contradictions the only thing that I can see myself do is to be the center of absolutely no contradictions. That we talk about things in a way that anybody can say, what do you mean by this? Where we decipher words in the most objective way, as opposed to having any sort of fucking agenda, having any sort of opinion besides wanting to find truth and good. So that's basically what I'm about. I think when I'm able to talk to more people, that the next step in the plan will become exposed, because that's the way life works. You can't make fantasies about things when you don't understand the people in them. I think what you want in a world where people have communal good times together, where they're not overtaken by like a whole government, where it's more family oriented, and there's a realistic way I see that becoming possible by harnessing the good in men and harnessing the good in women and giving them that sense of individuality, that sense of selfishness, so that we can all find out we want the same fucking thing. Except when men want the same thing, they go to war for it. When women are involved, now that I'm here, it doesn't matter what any other woman, and I know there were women in history that didn't want fights. Women were different. The last 10, 20 years has been fucking torture. I didn't know who I was. I could have become a fucking lesbian. I could have chopped my shit off. Oh, people care about me now because I made my leg into a dick. There's a lot of hurt and a lot of sadness that men have caused. And there's a lot of hurt and a lot of sadness that women caused in return. But if men are going to be on top, we have to see that they have to take that first stance. Because I think the reason
civilizations always fall is because men become more feminized, and
it's not because of the females. They disregarded the females in Aristotle and Plato's time. They didn't give a shit about them. And they were all fucking each other. There's a lot of evidence of fucking faggotry.
Yeah, they wanted what they wanted.
And they wanted each other. That's why I say that wanting a man closest to you is gay. The only way to prevent that gayness, that crumble of civilization, is to put a blocker, to put a woman.
Actively move towards women.
Instead of move towards each other, move towards themselves.
And not become them, but to take in
to observe them
that they have, add it to your
The reason
own.
the Jews are so successful is because they keep their women in line.
And the Jews bite baby dicks, so should we continue to bite baby dicks?
They're useless. They are the poorest example of fucking anything.
I will not.
But I'm saying the reason that they've managed, that they are successful, is
because they're dirty, they're disgusting, and they got into the economy market quicker than anybody else. They're a bad example of anything. I don't think it's because their women
That's why they
are.
promote feminism onto other races as a way to drag them down. It's a weapon.
It's a weapon to try to control anybody anywhere. If the point is selfishness, right?
Yeah.
Where does that end? Where do you reasonably say, okay, I'm satiated?
I haven't found that line yet.
Has any man found that line besides what they settle for? And they go, okay, this is good enough. I will leave my children a little bit more than what I was left, and I'll party the rest of it away. I'll be irresponsible with everything else, and influencing other people at the time that I'm doing it. Being Claire Danes or whatever, dancing on fucking poles and shit. I'm the Hilton fucking princess. This is the future now. These things have been bad influences on us. And I think once we scrub all that nasty shit away, we could find a love together. I want to love you, my dick's erect, Corbin. I want to have a relationship with everyone where we don't want to fight, we don't want to be angry. I don't like anybody being angry with me. The reason
Well,
why
I wouldn't want my wife saying those words.
you wouldn't want your wife to not be angry?
I wouldn't want my wife to love everybody and shit. I'd want a hoarder.
Well, I'm not going to give anybody love. I'm just not going to want anybody to die. My husband can only get that special love from me because that's the place that I fit. You can't put men there. They don't fit. They're too big.
There's different kinds of love. I love my wife different than I love the babies that are growing inside her belly.
And your love for animals or your love for your friends.
Yeah, it's different.
All it is trying to being aware of trying to do the best for everyone by doing the best for the self first. I can only do the best for myself if I let husband in. You can only do best for yourself if you let me in. We can only be that charged thing, that proton and electron that creates hydrogen, or that is hydrogen as a result, unless we find that balance together.
Know that when I fight you, everything fucking crumbles.
Yeah, it's not because it's my personality. I've always been very fucking
I
quiet.
never said that. I never said my wife couldn't be vulnerable with me, or my wife couldn't be.
How could she be if you would threaten to hit her?
If you
It's
don't
gotta
care
be.
what
You've
she
got to be
says or
What
what
if
strong
she
she's
enough.
feels.
literally I would if she's literally going against me after we've
But
made a
then,
deal.
but then you were too stupid to make a deal with the smarter girl, right?
Sure, but that's why you get more than one.
So you can make bad mistakes. I mean, wouldn't you rather make one good mistake than three bad
Women can
mistakes?
change, obviously, and obviously women aren't always going to keep their word. And how am I? What do I got to be a fucking wizard? I gotta be able to
No,
know that.
no. What I'm saying is that I think that we can learn a lot from each other. I can learn a lot about what a dude is willing to give to a woman. I can learn how the dude works. And in return, I can give niceness or my understanding of the perfect relationship with a dude by trying to have those perfect relationships everywhere, by having those reasonable conversations, by being the example, by trying to love you the fucking best that I can. And it's not about like fantasizing about what we would do in the future without, hey, how do we start that right now? And I just want to, you know, be
Start it right
friends.
now. Be friends right now.
I'm forcing you to be friends with me, my dick's erect.
I mean, I fucking I don't dislike you or anything. Obviously, I'm just I believe what I'm fucking saying, you know.
I know you believe what you're saying, but I think it's holding you back from seeing a higher truth.
You ever see potential in somebody?
Hmm?
You ever see like potential in a kid? Like you ever, I don't know if you're into sports, but you ever see a young athlete and go, they're doing the things right, and
I
if
mean,
they
I don't get into
continue to do
athletes, but
things right, that they can
yeah,
be
yeah.
greater than they are now.
Well, like I like not in like sports terms, but like when I look at my younger uh siblings or relatives, I see who they could be and I hope the best for them and I try to steer them in a direction where I think that they'll be good men when they get older.
My wife is doing that same thing, but for every person on the planet at the same time.
I I think that I'm trying to. You laugh probably because you disagree.
Well, I mean, I think that that's a pretty unrealistic goal. I don't think I could do that. That's why I focus on
Well,
smaller scale. I think you can actually do a lot more on a smaller scale.
my wife has been practicing this thing for.
I think this is the smallest scale. I think that there's too much stuff between you and having a cult and
I think it's
multiple
good to
wives.
focus on maybe your children and the people in your personal life. If you can spread a good message online, that's good. But I think that that women can do a lot more in the home for their children.
I don't have children yet.
But
They're
yeah, when you do,
still they're still brewing, so until then, I think that there's a lot to say, that I think there's a lot of conversation that people have. You ever met someone who has conversations like me, at least chick wise, that wants to talk about how women and men can coexist the best? I mean, it's kind of like, I
I
guess,
mean, no, but that's why I don't agree.
with what?
That's why I don't agree those because most women aren't like that.
But there's a way they could be like that, right?
Sure, in the kind of culture that I would want to promote.
I don't think, I think that's where we differ. I think in the culture I want to promote, it's more realistic than the one you want to promote, because you promote control and I promote doing everything the opposite of our enemies.
I think what you want to promote ultimately will lead to antagonism against men, even if you don't realize it.
I think that there is a level of control that men want, that if they're not restricted, they're going to destroy the world again. Or they're going to continue to destroy everything. What the people on the earth already think now is that men are evil. So we have to go back from that instead of go further into it, right?
Go
How
back
do
into what?
how do we move away from vilifying men, because are vilified right now? Yeah,
Hmm.
I think, from talking about their faults and the inevitabilities of what's happened throughout the past, because we can't be mad about systemic manism or fucking whatever words they use. There has to be an understanding that we came from nature, that there was going to be fighting, and that we can use our tools of communication to move away
But that
from that.
what I'm talking about, I think, is about the nature of women and men. I think that in natural settings, women are naturally more submissive, men are naturally more dominant, women are
I
more
have
attracted to
not
aggressive men.
disagreed about that. However, that submissiveness has to be a choice. If we are just aware that we are
the best societies that I would rather live in, that is not
you've never
necessary.
lived in a society like mine. You've only lived in a society where you would benefit the maximum from the opinions that you have. That Mormons are good because they get to have multiple wives and they get to do whatever they want to them. But it won't work for everyone. And there is something, if we have to appreciate math, right? Because if we don't appreciate math, we're going to lose math. And the things that we gain from math is building buildings that don't fall down, building ships that don't sink unless you're the Titanic or whatever, building submarines that don't get crushed. There's a logic and a science to many things, that all the things that people do, even how they grow crops. I think I know that there is a way that we can live and understand life and learn that understanding while living that life and going through that cycle over and over again to find that there is a humanness that has not yet been attained, that exists between the love of a man and a woman.
Well, I also never said that I don't think that men can't benefit from from embracing some level of their anima, and from communicating with their wife. I think they just have to be careful about it. You give an inch, they take a mile.
I think that we should promote people being better than that instead of having to give an inch and mile, that we call people out as they are at any point, that women can be conniving bitches and men can be fucking abusive assholes, abusive gay assholes.
Mm-hmm. The gay thing as an insult really doesn't work if there isn't actually gay sex involved.
It's
For
not
me,
about an insult. It's what I understand men to be, that if they want men closer to them, that
I
is
literally,
gay.
but that's what I'm saying is it literally doesn't matter to me unless you're literally saying gay sex.
I don't know why it has to matter to you for me to say it.
I'm just saying it doesn't
Okay,
mean
but
anything.
it doesn't.
Like
You can
what I'm saying is
understand it the way I'm saying it.
because I think that if that kind of relationship between men isn't wrong unless they're literally fucking each other in the ass.
But it is wrong. That there will be no kismet, no balance. What's that thing? No resting state, unless a woman is the closest thing to a man, and one woman is the closest thing to a man. That
Well,
love that every
you're
baby
not gonna.
needs
We're just
will
not gonna
exist
agree.
there. You don't. You said you're not gonna agree with me?
Well, I'm just saying we're never gonna agree on that. I'm never going to believe that.
I think with
Uh,
reasoning.
I mean that a man and a woman can understand each other the same way a man and a man can understand each other.
Why do you want a man to understand you more than a woman? They gonna hug you? Are they
Why,
gonna kiss you? Are they gonna tell you that
why
everything's
is that
okay? Or
necessary? Why is that necessary?
there's a
What's
coldness
the
inside of it.
correlation?
It's just because you can't feel it yet doesn't mean it's not something that everybody needs. You may have gone through like a lot of serious shit and it's preventing you from seeing the benefit of being able to cry with a woman or just like feel with her
Oh,
or
you
to
never
be.
I
cry with a
don't.
woman. They will use that. Women hate it when you cry in front of them. Most of
Women
them
don't
do.
hate it.
You're kind of a freak, so maybe not
Stupid women
you,
hate it. And there are more stupid women than not stupid women.
There's a reason they hate it because they're thinking of things in the terms of power dynamics, which they should. It's smart for them to think that way.
No, women think of things in terms of power dynamics because men created a world all power dynamics. That's the only thing that exists. And I want a space
I
without a
disagree. I
power
think it's
dynamic.
inherent. It's in the nature of all living species, of
Just
all
because it's
species.
in the nature doesn't mean that you can't be separate from it. That
I
you
don't want
can
to be
come
separate from nature. I want to be connected with
because you are
connection
a
with.
victim of abuse.
You don't want to
I think
evolve?
nature is good. No, I don't want to evolve.
Why wouldn't you want to be better than you are?
Better in terms of what? How does it benefit
Better in
me to evolve in such a way?
it benefits you because you move away from nature, which means you are stronger than
I think
nature.
the
Bless you.
animals look a lot happier than the humans do.
It's not. They don't live a lot. They get eaten. They get hunted. It's ridiculous
That's the
to
Animals
think
social
don't
that.
get to sit and talk on the internet and play.
Yeah,
They've
you
got
can
to
you can
struggle.
sit and play video games on the internet
We can
and
still be the dominant animal species. We don't need
but
to get eaten.
animals don't get that opportunity. So they do not have the capacity to be happier than us. They do not have the capacity to be more comfortable than us unless we give them that opportunity by giving them shelter. Sorry.
Anyways, it is getting pretty late, but it has been overall uh fun talking.
Oh yeah. I hope
For
we
me, it
get
is.
to do it again sometime.
Sure, definitely.
My
I'm always
DMs is open.
I'm always up.
You're always up.
I mean, I'm always down, I guess.
Oh, okay.
He's willing to participate.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so perhaps we will talk again soon. We'll be listening
Sure.
out for you. Where'd your friend go?
He probably just saw that the conversation. He probably thought the conversation wasn't going anywhere, or thought he didn't have anything to contribute or something.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope he comes back as well.
Sure, I
Sorry.
mean maybe. This I think he saw the way the direction the conversation was going. It was like, yeah, there's not really a point.
That sucks because I think we can come to everything. Humans, I think, can come to a conclusion with a human. We can come to a complete
Or yeah,
understanding. That's one of the benefits of being human.
he might have messaged me on Discord about it or something. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I'll go now and talk to you guys again another time.
Have a good night. Talk to you
Later, Nick.
soon. It sucks that there are people who have had potential for love abused out of them. And I know it was me as well. I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when it's complicated. I'm only happy while I'm getting hit in the face while getting cummed on by someone, you know? There's a mathematical way that we can reach a conclusion with each other. And it's going to take feeling. I don't know if you can feel exactly how I do, and that's not the point. But finding that love, working towards that love, at least. If you're not working towards love, you're working towards hate and violence. We're always moving. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
My dear Watson. Ooh, my subby hub, because this isn't his podcast, it's my podcast or whatever this shit is. And you got
If we talk about silicon or we talk about electronics, some weird thing, my area of expertise, I could be the dominant one in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
You have spent years and years and years figuring out people. I have not. So you're gonna steer the conversation. That's the way the knowledge. That's the way the cookie crumbles, Robin Williams.
that's the basics for all understanding. We can't have some retard college student running the class, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, they might be better than the fucking teacher.
When it comes to figuring out what the fuck's best, I am not the one. I'm such a piece of shit idiot.
Everybody is. They've got pieces, but there's reservations everywhere. There's demons to expel, and I don't know how to do it. Trying though. I wish that I could just give up and somebody fucking just cure the world for me, but then they want violent worlds, and I ain't down with that. I'd rather fucking die. I'd rather my children, they don't have sentience yet, but they'd rather fucking die. They have no choice. They're inside me. This isn't a world for them. So let's get rid of all the contradictions. Let's get rid of all the I didn't get to finish what, is so great about my world. If we get rid of all the contradictions and we go in the direction of love, because we have to be aware that we're going in a direction, right? If we don't, then life is just gonna overtake us. And it sucks that there are people who don't want love, don't know what love is. I was like that too. All I knew was stupid fucking songs. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. It sucks that people can't see that every problem we've ever had is the lack of love, the lack of, our parents didn't love us because they sold all their fucking land to the government. Our parents don't love us because they put us in public school. So what? We gotta figure out something better. And it's not gonna be imitating anybody ever. We have to do the opposite.
Socrates.
What do you mean?
We were just reading the shit about how you shouldn't imitate people.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he also say, like, imitate the good ones or some shit?
If there has to be imitation.
Oh,
but you
yeah.
still shouldn't imitate.
Okay. It's true. Maybe not imitate someone, but maybe imitate something. Because I guarantee you that everything about human is mathematically, scientifically accurate to the best thing that I promote. If you're not doing the best thing, you're doing the bad thing. And if you want a good life, you can't do any of the bad thing. It will always go in the bad direction. There's like a fear of I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm only human after all. There's a fear of opening yourself up. You could see by the reactions that you get. Like, what am I supposed to do? Fucking just let her shit all over me? Hell fucking no. But the alternative isn't good either.
The contractual thing, yeah.
Ugh.
Gotta be the best is we both have to keep each other to a high standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the best.
Yeah.
It can't be anything.
It is about climbing that ladder. We can go to space with the information between the love and with a man and a woman. We always challenge each other. We're climbing that ladder of doing better, doing more for each other, getting more aware of our selfishness and becoming selfish for each other. Now I'm part of you. I'm still selfish, but I'm selfish for you as well. I think you can't, if you don't have that mirror image, you can't fucking make sure your cornrows are straight. You can't see yourself in the mirror if there's nothing being reflected back to you but what you want reflected back to you.
Echo chamber.
An echo chamber. Anything that imitates an echo chamber, and that unfortunately is gonna take some strong men taking some fucking abuse. If you're so strong.
Is it taking abuse or is it understanding the hurt?
It's understanding the hurt. It's understanding it's not abuse. And sometimes it is. If a woman calls the cops on a man because he's angry, but he wants to talk, and she just wants him to go away, and she calls the cops, that is abuse. It's abusing a system that's meant to abuse people. But if it's listening to me yell about how much I hate the way you do X, then maybe stop dropping so many fucking mollies. Try a jug of PCP instead. If I'm upset and I emote that upsetness, if you are the strongest man you can be, then you can take it. Right? Even if, I mean, we live in a place where you get smart then. If we live in a place where a woman gets you fucking sent to prison, you're gonna get sent to prison for fucking hitting her anyway. It's not. So building each other up. If you're. Oh, thank you. If you're building each other up, then you don't want her to feel submissive. It would be good if she decided to be submissive to you, right? Because the sex is more cohesive. Is there ever a time that I want to be dominant with you in the bedroom? Fucking, you ain't Deadpool. I'm not gonna put a dildo in your fucking ass. That's ridiculous.
No.
A man can't get off from pain. A woman can't get off from pain. And putting a woman in line is getting off from the pain, whether you realize it or not. It's all about doing those contradiction checkings. A man is strongest when he does not say a single contradiction. If any contradictions come out, that has to be acknowledged as a weakness, and it has to be sorted. It has to be understood. It has to be aware of when you walk into the future. That you're not just going to say contrary things because you're upset. You're not going to say contrary things because it's the thing that makes sense. Contradictions are a real fucking bugger. And there's no excuses. There's no, well, in this circumstance, this is okay. In this circumstance, this is okay. You're still splitting yourself. Yeah. Should we do it offline or should we do it online? Because I feel like we've been at this for hours and I've got to pee. I miss you so. Feels like it's been forever since you've been gone. Please come back home. Lincoln Park, Chester Bennington. Okay. It said that there was a bunch of people viewing. I don't know how accurate it is, but if there are people who did listen, thank you. And also come back again. Libble and subscribble to my dibble. If you'd like to join conversations, if you'd like to ask questions, or if you'd like to state something and maybe we can talk it out, whatever the case may be, let's have conversation. Let's take over the patriarchy and the matriarchy at the same time and create a love triarchy. A love tree. In a jam, YouTuber uses finger to test Cybertruck truck sensor. Oh shit, does his finger... Somebody already did that. That Drew Gooden guy, he put a carrot there and it sliced off immediately. So, well, I mean, for science, right?
I figured that out for science a long time ago.
Did his finger come off at all?
No.
Oh, so... Oh!
He just...
It still was too weak. It didn't... I thought it was gonna chop it off.
Got his finger stuck in a car door.
Did he go to the hospital? And get an x-ray? Make sure it wasn't broken?
wife there too.
But a weirdy horse. Okay. Now we will stop. And go make pee-pee. Come back again. I love you, miss you, one piece.